Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the best of Neil Rogers. No live calls will be taken today. Neil is on tape. Okay, that's tape or mini disc, but he's not here. Please don't call. The opinions heard on the Neil Rogers Show are those of the host and callers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Beasley Lead Acquisitions or the Beasley Broadcast Group, its management, or anyone else for that matter. Now remember, this is the best of Neil. Do not call. Put the damn phone down. Just relax and enjoy on 560 QAM.
My dad knocked me off. He raped me when he tied me up. When I was young, Benet Ramsey, I was killed by my daddy. My dad knocked me off. I wasn't little tweenie. It's not a media mystery. My mom's the one who knows. He beat me and beat me with the rapper hose, and that's my head, as you know. He's wealthy and owns most of Colorado, so they're gonna let him go. My dad knocked me off. He needed me to get it up, so he's the one who did it. You'll never hear him admit it. My daddy knocked me off. My daddy knocked me off. My daddy knocked me off.
So let me just mention this thing here, because I'm going to forget about it, and I don't want to do that. Boy tossed out of car on I-95, child's mother charged with attempted murder. Hobe Sound, an apparently drugged and paranoid mother, once accused of starving her newborn daughter, pulled her toddler son from his car seat and tossed him out the window on Thursday as she raced along Interstate I-95.
That fucking bitch.
She picked him up by his coveralls and threw him out, said Florida Highway Patrol Trooper Deborah Busby. The screaming 2.5-year-old boy hurtled across the median as shocked motorists pulled over to help him. Stephen Haddad lost consciousness only as paramedics placed him on a gurney. The boy was in serious but stable condition with broken bones on Thursday night at St. Mary's Medical Center and was undergoing CAT scans. And Barry Jackson's worried about if we're going to have the Jimmy Johnson press conference. See what I'm saying? See, I got this TV in here thanks to Jeff Cohen and a satellite dish thanks to our friends at
Digital World
Satellite. Not so I could watch ESPN and find out if there's any big sports stories breaking, but so we could have CNN on here and find out if the president's going to get impeached, if he's had any good blowjobs this week, if we're going to have a goddamn war with Iraq, what's going on in the outside world. Barry Jackson, I suggest you open up the window and stick your fat ass out there and find out there's other things going on in the world, okay, you simpleton, you jackass, you fit in line. You're just like those people that guy was talking about. Anyway, this little boy's mother, Chris Ann Haddad, 30 of West Palm Beach, was charged with attempted murder and aggravated child abuse and was being held on $60,000 bail at the Martin County Jail. It was Haddad's second child abuse arrest. In 1991, Haddad pleaded guilty to child abuse charges after her infant daughter turned up malnourished and convulsing at a hospital emergency room. She received 5 years probation, court documents show. And here's the best part. Haddad was going through a divorce and had won temporary custody of her children, court records show. How do you like that? She was going through a divorce and won temporary custody of her children. Haddad, an apparent manic depressive who was no longer taking her medication, had lost a lot of weight recently. She'd become obsessed with the notion that a secret agency was trying to steal her son, according to neighbors and friends. Probably the Illuminati or the Trilateral Commission. She told them she discovered the plot on the Internet and was fleeing with her child. Oh, the plot was on the Internet, just like all those great NHL trades you see on there. About 10:45 a.m., traveling north on I-95 at speeds of up to 85 miles an hour, Haddad threw the toddler out of the driver's side window and then skidded into a ditch. The boy hit the ground screaming, witnesses told police, and continued to cry as witnesses raced to comfort him. Haddad ran back to her child, ranting about pornographic movies and poor international news coverage in local papers, according to witnesses and police. Well, now, in that last part, I think she's got a point about poor international news coverage.
There was nothing in there about the Disney connection?
No.
I heard somewhere on one of the radio newses, obviously not this
Well, it's not us. We wouldn't know. We would know if she was throwing out...
She said she'd rather see the kid dead than to be exposed to the pornography of Disney movies.
Oh, yeah. She probably saw Priest. Well, maybe she's smarter than we thought. She knows that...
There's no fact in the church.
She probably saw Priest and got bent out of shape. This woman, she's getting custody of her kids. The first one, the little girl, was convulsing and starving to death, and this one she throws out the window. And people are worried because we're having too many abortions, because we're not making enough babies, and the Pope is running around telling people you got to make a lot more babies, and no with that birth control. That'd be bad. Oh, God almighty. And I bet you the right to lifers aren't going to be screaming about this because this kid's already alive. See, they never care about anybody that's already alive. It's only that fetus that they're in love with. Here's Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil, good morning. You've been talking about porkers the last few days. I just
sir.
saw a story on CNN. A North Florida man arrested, handcuffed, taken away for standing on the roadside with a sign that says speed trap ahead.
He was now. See, this reminds me of the thing about the flashing your lights to warn the other motorists that there's a speed trap. How can they do that?
I just saw it on the deadline
I guess what they say is that you're interfering with law enforcement when you do that is the technicality.
Obstruction of justice.
Obstruction of justice. Oh my God, as bad as Bubba, without even getting any hum job out of it. Have a great day, pal. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm reading the Miami Morning Rag here, and Barry Jackass got an article in there about you, about how a disservice it is to these sports idiots that they're not having the sports updates every hour on your show.
Yeah.
I mean, please.
You know something? Barry Jackass is a little immature asshole. If there was anything very earth-shaking and important happening in sports, they would fax it to us over here in the middle of the show, and I would put it on the air. But and not only that, like Joe Sakic gets injured, we find out we had it on the air here yesterday.
Right.
So if there's anything earth-shaking, I mean, anybody that's that much of a fanatic that has no life whatsoever, which is Barry Jackson, by the way. I mean, this guy's pathetic, and of course he's nothing but a shill and an asshole.
No, but the thing of it is, there is those fanatics who listen to this station, because I hear him yesterday, just sucking up to Hank, these sports shrills. I mean, it's sickening. Get a license,
so don't listen to if you don't want to hear
that.
that.
Hank is entertaining, but
yeah.
it's too bad that we can get all these people.
Well, when you've got a sports station, you're going to attract a lot of those people who this is their entire life. They're incapable of thinking or talking or doing about anything else in the world, and they want to soak that up every minute of the. And those, you're right, those people are pathetic. I've said that since the day I came on this station, and Barry Jackson is one of them.
Yeah, and then he goes because they didn't carry Jimmy Johnson's press conference last week instead of interrupting you as a fluff.
No, we aren't going to be interrupting this show for
Jimmy Johnson,
I
hope not.
Or for his Johnson or anybody else's Johnson.
To hear about
okay?
the free agents, These people in the spring of town. Football season is over. If I hear one more talk about football, about the Dolphins drafting, I mean, God, these people get a friggin' life already.
Amen.
God.
Calm down.
Bye.
Okay. But he's right. See, Barry Jackson, this is not a sports show. I hate to paint you a picture. I'm sure you're listening right now, you little pudwhacker. This isn't a sports show. It's the Neil Rogers Show, which is probably the best goddamn thing that ever happened to this radio station, if I do say so myself. And the notion that we're going to be interrupting it to put Jimmy Johnson on it to go blah, 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 like that. Get a life, okay? Take an interest. Take up a hobby. Like Russian roulette would be good, okay, Barry? Take up something really worthwhile and get with it. But see, he feels compelled to write that because he's catering to exactly the people this guy's talking about. That's what his column is all about, broadcast sports. Here's a mobile in Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, who's going to be the 31st draft pick for Seattle this coming summer for the NFL?
Some 10-year-old kid with a great arm who plays for Ishpeming High in Michigan.
Absolutely correct. Oh,
yeah, we'll be here, I'm sure, lots about that. I mean, if you thought IOD went crazy on draft day in April every year, just wait till you hear what goes on this station when the NFL draft comes about.
Oh, jeez. Well, anyhow, Neil, I saw that cover of the Herald with that crazy woman running down the highway, dropping her kid, 18 months old, not 2.5. So that's I mean, and the mother, they want to give the kid to the mom.
Says in my paper here the kid is 2.5 years old.
Really? Oh, the Herald has 18 months.
Well, I guess
still, it doesn't matter.
I guess it makes a big difference whether he's 18 months or 30 months or whatever.
The younger, the softer the bone.
He's a little kid, and she threw him out the goddamn window onto the I-95.
It's sad. And then the other woman that stabs the mom in front of the other kids. I mean, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's so. Well, anyhow.
And people like Barry Jackson are worried about who the Dolphins are going to draft in the 32nd round. I mean, this last guy that called was right on target. He said everything that I've been saying and thinking for a long time. I have no respect. I have nothing but disdain for people. Hey, you think so-and-so bet on Tennessee last night? I mean, what are we talking about? Betting on goddamn college ball games? Get a life already, for Christ's sake.
Hey, one minor request for my brother Mackenzie, the Scottish bagpiper.
Have a great day, pal.
Thanks.
See, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same 3 or 4 things, George. That's the problem.
Just play them over and over again.
Well, let's just play it 400 times. If we can do it with spots, we can do it with comedy bits. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the lady who, the lady who threw the kid in the street.
Right.
Well, I'm a pro-lifer, and we care about the children, happen to them.
Fags in the church.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is the fags in the church guy.
That's right. There's no fags in the church.
Oh,
okay.
God, when are you going to get a life, man?
We care about
What
our
happened?
children. We care about our children.
Did Father O'Toole,
Okay.
did your boyfriend run away? Is that what happened? Is that why you're so psychotic?
Father O'Toole? What's your problem with Father O'Toole?
I don't even know him.
Okay. It's just because
How was he?
there's no fags in the church. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There's none. It's because
How
your imagination.
How about in the Right to Life movement? Are there any fags? In fact, there's an article in the Advocate this week quoting some guy from the Vatican who says that everybody at the Vatican is a fag. You think that he's a liar?
He's a liar.
Okay.
He's hurting the church.
He's
trying to hurt the church.
He's probably just a fag propagandist, is what I think.
He's trying to hurt the church. That's
Yeah.
what he's trying to do.
Uh-huh.
It's just like you trying to hurt the Catholic Church, but it's not going to work.
I know that.
You see, it's not going to work that way.
Because they reproduce too fast. I can't slow it
Okay?
down.
And just because you hate the Pope.
What do you mean I hate the Pope? I love the
You do.
Pope. I love the Pope. He's an old fag, just like I am.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is, only I'm a better dresser. Although, quite frankly, I've never seen his dress, other than that white schmata he wears all over the place. I understand in private he dresses up just like gay Edgar Hoover.
This is 560 QAM.
Neil Rogers God.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. While my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate, my religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys who wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. We have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours. Chupa harbor a spooky ghost. We slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Yes, we wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay retail. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like forward brushes to our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's much better than yours.
We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless lemmings on parade. My religion's better than yours.
Let's do Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today, sir?
Very well.
I just wanted to take the time and see if perhaps maybe you permit me to speak. I am a pastor of a local church, and I hear your program on a regular basis.
Yes, sir.
I can't say that I'm critical of your point of view. The only thing that I don't understand about you is your atheistic.
My what is it? Atheistic?
I believe you're an atheist, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
God forbid.
Okay, meaning that you don't believe in God whatsoever.
Of course not.
Okay, what kind of watch do you wear around your wrist?
What kind of watch do I wear around my limp wrist?
Well, for example, a Rolex watch.
No, I don't wear a Rolex.
Well, okay, well, let's just say I take a Rolex and I put it in front of you, and I tell you that that Rolex happened by itself, that it just created itself.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say that I'm an ignorant person for thinking that that Rolex happened by itself?
Sir, you know something? I wouldn't give a crap.
You don't worry about how this planet came
No,
to
I
be?
absolutely do not, because I know that we don't know the answers. We don't even know answers to things that happened a few years ago or a few months ago. We don't even know if Monica Lewinsky was even giving blowjobs to the president, and you're trying to get me to believe a bunch of Bubbenmeises that were written by primitive people thousands of years ago? See, if I did care about those questions, see, a long time ago I said to myself, we don't know, and we're never going to know, and that's the end of it. I'm not going to waste my life listening to a bunch of fairy tales that are being spread by other people for a purpose, for taking over your mind and your money.
What happens when we die then?
You go right into the ground, just like Fido goes into the ground, just like the cockroach goes into the ground. You go dust to dust, et cetera, and so on. That's it.
I mean,
I mean, are you really afraid of death?
It's not a matter of being afraid of death because...
Sure it is. Listen, religion is about two things, fear of death and money. That's the only thing that religion is all about.
You are absolutely right.
Right.
Religion. You don't need religion. What you need is a relationship with God.
But there is no God, sir. There's no such thing as God.
There is religion.
They
like to get away from that word.
Well, I'm not going to play semantical games with you, sir. There is no God, and if you believe in a God that the Jews invented or the Goyim invented or the...
Okay, so then...
There's been thousands of gods through the years. Every culture has invented their own gods. The Aztecs were the sun god. Everybody had gods, and you know something? It's all just a bunch of double talk. That's all. But if it helps you to hang on to that, I don't want to deny you that. But I'm certainly not going to be denied an opinion to express the right to express an opinion here.
I agree with you 100%. I respect your opinion, and like I say, I hear your program, and I am critical of your point of views. But now there's certain explanations that are logical. So then there's only two things: either evolution.
But look, sir, I want to ask you this question, okay? This lady that threw her kid out of the car yesterday, all right? Are you listening to me?
Yes, I am, sir.
Saddam Hussein is making biological weapons over in Iraq, right? Are you listening to me,
yes,
sir?
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. We have El Nino, which is causing flooding and all these grotesque things happening and people dying, right?
Right.
Now, if God is omnipotent, how come all of this is going on?
There's also Satan.
Ah, Satan. And where did he come from? Who invented him? Who invented him?
But aren't you...
Sir, who invented Satan? Who created him?
Well, Satan...
Sir,
I'm going to answer you. Will you let me answer you?
I'm listening.
God created him a perfect angel.
Yeah. See, here we go again. He created him as a perfect angel.
Obviously not.
I thought that was J.T. Snow, and then they traded him to the Giants. He was a perfect angel.
Well, how do you explain...
See, if something is perfect by definition, it's just like God. He's omnipotent and he's perfect, but he keeps screwing up all the time. And we have leprosy, and we have cancer, and we have bubonic plague, and we have AIDS, and we have all of these other diseases. We got this new disease that they were talking about. Every time you turn around, there's another new disease that affects the brain and eats the brain away. Every time you turn around, there's another new disease. And it's Satan. See, that's a convenient excuse. That's for morons to say stuff like that. God is great, but Satan... See, if God is omnipotent, all he's got to do is get rid of Satan, that's all. Hey, you're gone, like that. Like he snapped his fingers and he created the universe, he also snaps his fingers. Satan's gone. Let's have peace and tranquility. You live 300 years of peace. We don't have all of these problems. We don't have wars. Man is perfect. Doesn't have free choice.
But then there won't be anyone to test us.
Oh, yeah, we have to be tested. Like Abraham, go kill your kids, huh? I was just kidding.
Psych.
Yeah, just testing you. Just checking out to see what kind of a good Jew you really were, Abraham. And by the way, that one kid ain't circumcised. Who are you kidding?
Ishmael was.
Yeah, Ishmael. Ishmendrick. Shmendrick was circumcised, okay? Ishmael. All of these bubble-mices, my God, it boggles my mind. But you know something? I don't waste a lot of time thinking about it because I realize, especially, the one good thing that's happened to me doing this kind of work and doing this show every day is I realize how weak most people are. Most people are such sheep, like these people we have sitting on hold, and somebody says something while they're on hold and that they can hear, and then we punch them up on the ear, and they repeat it like a goddamn parrot, like a mynah bird, because their minds are so weak they don't have an original thought in their brain if you could find it. But thank you for your call, sir. All these religious nuts, they're afraid of saying three little words. That make it very easy. And then when you start asking all of these questions for which we don't have any answers, all you have to do is say,
I don't know.
There you go. And people can't say that and never have been able to say that. So since the beginning of recorded time, everybody says, oh, well, how did we get here? And then, okay, we don't really know, but we'll make up an answer. Instead of just saying, I don't have any freaking idea, let's make up an answer. Let's make up some fairy tale. Sounds reasonable to me. And you know something? They could have done a better job. They could have made up some, like the Virgin Mary on the side of a bank building in Pensacola or whatever. I mean, come on.
Well, other cultures did do a better job.
The Virgin Mary on a Totina pizza at, what's-her-name's house? Rosie Ricardo, whatever her name is, in Hollywood?
Lopez.
Oh, Rosie Lopez. I forgot all about her. She's small potatoes. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Neil. I just wanted to say I'm really enjoying your show today, but I had a comment to make.
Okay.
Isn't it true that homosexuals aren't supposed to believe in God?
What the hell does that mean?
I'm just asking. Is that the reason why you don't believe in God?
No, it has nothing to do with anybody's sexual orientation or anything like that. It has to do with not believing in fairy tales. See, here's...
You don't consider it a fairy tale.
Here, that's why I said fairy tale. Here's another example of a caller, just like the other, the Julio that called before with this.
Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
Same thing. Thing. I really enjoy your show, but and now you want to take a little shot.
Yeah, well, all you're promoting is negativity. On the other hand, when God promotes...
Then let me ask you this. Then why do you listen to the show then?
Because you pissed me off. I usually listen to the show, but, this time... Because it what? But this time, you really...
No, let me ask you again. Why do you listen
promoting
to the show?
Promoting is negativity.
Yeah, okay, then go find something positive. Go find yourself a good vibrator, that's real, and make sure it's on positive. See, you're not fooling anybody, sweetheart. You're not fooling anybody for a second. And if somebody says something that makes sense and challenges all this garbage that's in your brain that you can't get rid of, then right away you have to go, oh, it's because you're a faggot, it's because you're this, it's because you're bald and old and you're Jewish, whatever it is. And she just can't handle it. She can't deal with it. Well, sweetheart, if you want to believe that there are the little green men on Mars and on the moon and on the cockamoon, whatever you want, it's a free country, go right ahead and just be a bozo the rest of your life, because that's what nothing negative about reality. Well, it's pretty ugly, but nevertheless, if you can cope with it, unless you're a weakling, in which case you need religion. And obviously you do.
Besides, there are a lot of self-hating religious fags.
Oh, there's no question about that. That's why the Catholics have that dignity thing, so that they can go there and pretend that the church loves them, et cetera, and so on. Even though the church, of course, the Catholic Church is just there's nothing but fags in the church. Just read anything you want about the Vatican.
There's no fags in the church.
Like I said, make no mistake about it. You show me a guy in a dress, and I'll show you a faggot, or a guy who likes to dress up, or both. Wonder if Johnny Bench liked to dress up.
Neil got out WQAM. Where the faggot is.
Here's Kendall. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Captain Rick here. How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Listen, I know everybody looks up to all the other Hawk Show toasts, but I don't get
Hawk
it.
Show toasts?
I don't get it. Don't take this wrong, but how can you, mix sports with real topics? You ought to just stick to sports.
Sir, let me say it again. This is the Neil Rogers Show. It's not a sports show.
Yeah, but the bodily function jokes, who are you appealing to? 9-year-old boys?
Yes.
What's the deal?
9-year-old girls, yeah.
What's the deal there, Neil?
So in other words, you're listening, but you don't like the show. Is that what you're telling me again, sir? You're another
have
one.
You ever listened?
You're another one of these
show?
people who's calling to tell me how to do the show, but for some reason which you refuse to explain, you're listening to it. Why are you listening?
You're garbage.
Well, good. Then go play some sports, okay? Go play pocket pool. Get out of our face. Another one, another definitive QAM asshole, but thank you very much for listening to the show. I sit and I listen to the assholes that call in on the sports shows on this radio station, and I wonder to myself, what kind of morons are these people? Oh, what about the Bobby Schmendrick on the Vikings? Who cares about Bobby Schmendrick and the Vikings, for Christ's sake? It's the 24th of February. Who gives a crap? And even if it was the middle of August, who would give a crap? So I'm not mixing anything with anything. Let me say it again. It's the Neil Rogers Show. And if you don't like it, go find someplace else to sit your fat ass, okay? Pathetic. We got all these instant program directors out there. Why not come over here, pal? You'll get hired. Because you know nothing about the business, obviously, which is the main qualification for getting hired in programming here. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Great.
When you go to the movies and you don't like the movies, what do? You leave. So for the last call, if you don't like the show, change the channel.
But don't you understand? They never do it. I've got 50 billion people out there who are closet listeners who pretend that they hate the show. They hate me. It's disgusting. It's juvenile. It's whatever it is, and they're listening. Here's a guy. It's almost an hour into the show, and he's still listening.
One thing about this professor who commented about Miami, and Miami is pretty much like you said, an armpit. It's
a banana republic. It's a toilet. It's a joke.
You know what annoys people, Neil? Channel 6 ran a report on a student in Iraq that speaks English. He's studying to be a doctor.
Oh, are you going to start with this again, sir? Are you going to hock me at China with this bilingual stuff again, sir?
You got people coming on the
get out of here. Take a leak. God, can you believe this? People that start that crap with me, he's like the other guy. Because you're not going to be on the air more than like 2 seconds once you start that crap, you parochial little twerp. He saw a guy in Iraq speaking English. Well, let me tell you something. You go over to Baghdad and either stay there or try functioning in English in Baghdad, okay? I go to Rome 8 million times a year, which is a hell of a lot more civilized and educated than Baghdad will ever be. And there are, aside from people who came from this country or some very educated people who work in the service business, nobody's speaking English over there. Nor would I expect them to. But what the hell difference does it make? You function based on living in whatever the conditions are around you. And these people that want to keep banging away and banging away and banging away, I'll tell you, the living and breathing Hispanics in this town all speak English maybe better than this guy does. And he wants to waste his time with these old farts sitting in Domino Park who refuse to speak English. I have no room in my life for those people. Those are the very same people that are threatening everybody and this professor from FIU because he expressed an opinion that they don't like because they don't understand what freedom of speech is all about. They've been here for 40 years almost now, and they still don't understand anything about this government, and they never will until they croak.
And they're very embarrassing to the rest of us.
Well, there you go. But this guy call Sandy Payton, okay, sir? Maybe you can find her skinny ass somewhere on a radio dial. Call her up, and she'll talk about it for the next 55 hours nonstop. It's boring. He's worse than the guys that call the sports shows. And believe me, they're terminal. 90% of those callers I wouldn't give you a nickel for. They're pathetic. I mean, you talk about narrowcasting. They're talking about stuff that appeals to such a minuscule number of people. Who cares about that crap? About some 15-year-old kid that's playing high school volleyball in Peoria, Illinois somewhere, who's got a really big left foot or whatever the hell he's got. God, here's Miami Springs. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil. Good morning. I don't always agree with everything you say, but many times, because each one of us are different.
That's right. Very good. Excellent. I don't expect a bunch of lemmings out there.
No, exactly.
I expect a bunch of really thoughtful people.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm glad. You've cut my chain of thought, but it's fine.
That's the idea.
As far as the fish food's concerned, all we have to remember is Boca Burgers.
Right.
Same thing happened.
Yeah.
And
Bagel bites.
Well,
Dr. Atkins' diet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's things that you believe in. And I think that's what comes through.
This show's got the power, baby. That's what this show's all about. It's got the power. Not just sitting here and flapping my gums for 4 hours, but actually being able to motivate people and having some credibility. That's what this show's all about. Anybody can sit down here and read ball scores for 4 hours.
Yeah. But changing the gears a bit, because what spurred me to call is when I switched it on and I heard you talking about the professor. Actually, he's what we have to admire. Someone who's concerned more about the substance. The style comes afterwards, but we have a group of people that are more interested in appearances, and all they care about is appearances, and that's what's important, and it's not. What's important is doing the right thing, and then that by itself, you're going to have the appearances come back later. It serves no purpose to have a bunch of crooks here in Miami-Dade.
The fact that these old Cubans down there in Miami are defending Xavier Suarez and what goes on politically in the city of Miami is so incomprehensible. It shows you how intractable and hopeless they are, and that's why we should just forget about them and just sit them all in Domino Park and let them just eat drink their cafe cubano until their intestines rot and just get them out of here already.
Well, most of them are dying off, and then what you're seeing is a new generation.
Right.
And in regards to because you have people talking about bilingualism, but really, I hate to sound feel good, but what makes this country great and why this country could take a leadership role around the world is essentially you name the group, and there's a significant group of those people here that live here. It doesn't matter whether it's from Pakistan or from Cuba or from Iran, or from Iraq. They could be from anywhere, and you will find that nationality melting in here. And that's what makes this country what it is, a lot of different people. Well, a mess, yes, but also have a little bit of the moral responsibility to be able to intervene and say, well, we understand. In the long run, I think it's a lot better that way than to try to consider this country something homogenous. No.
Well, this guy wants everybody to be just like him.
No. In diversity, there's strength.
Okay.
All right.
Well said. Have a great day, pal. Even though it's not working here, but we're trying it. Works in other places. Like I was talking on the tape about Toronto yesterday. I heard that. Where they have tremendous diversity and people get along and nobody's talking to China about bilingualism. Then you go over to Montreal and Quebec. There's another example of what happens when they start with this bilingual crap. Two cities not that far apart, same country. One of them works magnificently well. Great city. Other one, a zoo, a circus. People are fleeing from there because of the frogs. This story of that I got 2 faxes on this from Bartow, which I thought was mildly amusing. But now that I read into it, this guy named Johnny Larmore, he sat beside US 98 holding a speed trap ahead sign. Passing motorists honked their thanks, smiled and waved, but the deputies were not pleased. The deputies. Those working at what police call a traffic speed enforcement area gave him a parking ticket, handcuffed him, took him to a mental health crisis center, and confiscated his sign. A cheap homemade sign. The deputies said it was evidence. Polk Sheriff's Colonel Grady Judd agreed with Larmore and said Larmore, 48, is welcome to his sign back. Hindsight is perfect, said the Colonel, but what we should have done is pull up stakes and move on down the road. Mr. Larmore was doing our job for us, which was to slow down people to the speed limit. See, that's where the whole thing comes in. Are you really there to get people to slow down, or are you just there to write tickets? That's the real question. Now, does anybody believe that these speed traps are set up to slow us down and make us be good, obedient? Right. They're there to write tickets is what they are. And so they were forced to unhandcuff him and unrelease his sign and send him on his merry way. after they hassled this poor guy who was just, because it was a road out in the middle of nowhere. And he thought it was like pretty ridiculous that they were setting up a speed trap out in the middle of nowhere, like on Hiatus Road where the speed limit is like 2 miles an hour. And I'm going to say it again, you people out there that are too stupid to realize when the porkers are out there in heat and there are speed traps every 5 yards, if you don't want to slow down, then just go around that double yellow line and get yourself a double ticket for speeding and for going on the other side of a double yellow line on Hiatus Road. You idiots, you. I'll never forget as long as I live that jackass on Friday and his little girl in the back seat pulls around me, passes me on the wrong side of the double yellow line, and she turns around and gives me a look that would kill. Ugly little bitch. Because I'm not going fast enough to suit their fancy in my beautiful Corvette. Well, too damn bad, okay? I hope you wind up getting 8,000 speeding tickets, you jackass. Probably was a kidnapping. Here's Boynton Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? I've been trying to call you for quite some time. I just need to educate your audience a little bit. I'm a police officer up here in Palm Beach County, and you guys got it wrong. There's no quotas. Traffic is a very, very, very small percentage of what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And the reason why we target certain streets is because we have a lot of old people and influential people that run the city to say they want us there to slow people down. But you're right. A lot of times when people hide, I disagree with that theory as far as traffic control. If you want to slow people down, you sit right out in the middle of the road with the lights on. But
the people I'm talking about, like in Plantation, they really don't want to slow people down. They just want to write business.
Well,
if they wanted to slow people down, they'd be sitting out there on hiatus 24 hours a day, and these people that are tailgating and trying to force you to go like 20 miles over the speed limit, those would be the people getting the tickets, and they're getting on my nerves.
Well, they do. But the cities get a very small percentage of the revenue from tickets as well. You know
yeah.
That? But, you hear these people call up.
Then how come all the people that are driving all the bad vehicles out there with the bald tires and no brakes, how come those people rarely get stopped? How about the old people that are driving 20 miles under the speed limit in the left-hand lane? How come somebody doesn't pull them over? I've lived in the state for 25 years. I have never seen anybody that was driving slow and irresponsibly get pulled over. Never.
That is a statute, actually.
Well, yeah, of course it is. Well, why aren't they getting pulled over?
I can't speak for all the other officers, but I mean, speeding is the rarest thing that I stop people for. I'd rather stop someone for, a spy registration or a bad vehicle, whatever you want to do.
Right.
But still, traffic is a very small percentage of what we do. A very large majority of officers get out and they really bust their ass to make the city safe and so on and so forth. And that's what people rarely respect our profession anymore, and I thought I'd call and give you another
Well,
side.
because most of the cops we hear from, like that arrogant jackass that called me a week ago Friday, that was giving me a lecture and giving everybody else a lecture, and it just was obnoxious, that's all. Telling us that we want to make up the laws as we go along.
Well, can't speak for everybody, Neil, but I can speak for myself.
Well, thank God for you, sir. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay. There's a real cop with a, real reasonable attitude. And like I've said before, there are maybe 20-30% of the cops that got that attitude, and then there's about 30 or 40% in between who are a little kind of jaded because police work didn't turn out to be what they thought it was going to be. And then there's 20 or 30% on the other end who are just a bunch of assholes who are just out there to hassle the public. Your hair is too long, you're too young, we don't like the way you look, whatever the hell it is. You're too dark, you're too light, so to speak.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and it was good. Then God created man, and it wasn't bad. But the masses were asses. They were lost. They had no guidance. So God sat and thought about it, and He created the Neil Rogers Show. And God sent forth Neil to entertain the people of Israel, the Canaanites, the Palestinians, and the douchebags. And Neil led his flock through the dark, cold, rugged terrain of Miami radio. He comforted the mums. He cast down the elderly and banished the foul bird, and it was good. The Neil Rogers Show. It's not just a show. It's a religious experience.
Well, I hate what they're doing on QAM. Put that faggot back on again. I want what they had before. He's not my kind of guy. What the hell are they doing anyway? With the manly-sounding guy who's really gay. I want more Chris Moore, cause the voice is real high. When I listen to the sports, a manly voice won't get my attention. I will really get me fit in the shorts. A squeaky high voice will give me an erection. Well, I hate what they're doing on QAM. Putting that faggot back on again. I'm going to miss hearing straight men with voices this high. Now I'll have to get deeper in that closet again so I can impress all the macho friends. Check out Chris Moore at night to help me fantasize. Yeah, nothing like having macho sports guys whose voices have some cracks since they were 12 years old. Can't be like that. Yeah, stand up real close to the radio and press it down and get their voices on up there. It really makes my balls tingle. And that Crow, man, well, he's smarter than my inbred brother. Yup.
Show is. So let me ask you the first question. What the hell time is, Chris? Moron. Anyway, we got a Coxie's Army in here. You've never seen anything like this. You think there was something going on here today, which there just might be, and it's a major miracle. Let me say it again. George Corso is God. Now, would we be here today if it weren't for this one poor guy? That's right. Even our George is got the clapping there for him. He's clapping and yakking, and this man did 5 people's work, 9 o'clock last night. We finally got the last, well, not the last, but close to the last piece of equipment in here, and it's a major miracle. One man, so powerful, so amazing, so miraculous, and he wears an earring, too. How do you like that? So we've got 7 months' worth of material to cover here, and, Ellie Brecker, I had all this other stuff I want to talk about, and then, of course, we got the Herald, and you know how much we love the Herald. They're our favorites. And she comes up with, Ellie, I mean, seriously, could you ever get anything right? I love you, you're a sweet person, but stay the hell away. You know what I mean? This is just unbelievable. She has an article in here this morning, a little bit late, but better late than never. But Ellie Brecker, that fucking bitch, has got a thing in here that says, I'm talking about the fact that, there was a few delays here over these past, they only had 7 months to get this done. Not a long time for a project that should take about 3 weeks. But they only had 7 months to do it, and they kept giving us one date. It's going to be done December 1st. It's going to be done December 8th. It's going to be done December 15th. Positively December 16th. 9 o'clock last night, the 29th of freaking December, we get the last piece of equipment in here so we can do the show. See, their idea of doing a show is you walk into a dilapidated old flea bag, like Hank keeps telling you it is over there at QAM. You sit down with a mic and a board that Marconi would be embarrassed by, and you flip the stuff open, and it sounds like that. Then that's being on the radio, okay? We are here to drag the Beasley Reed people out of the Stone Age of broadcasting into at least the 19th century anyway. 20th would be a little bit too much, but how about the 19th, okay? How about those big old final tubes that glow real bright, the ones that we used to see in the transmitter at KAT, Art Smith, rest in peace. By the way, you'll be excited to know, I was a little bit down because I'll tell you, this John douchebag from Channel 4, this man is obsessed. We even came in here the other day and let him press our buttons. And all over the TV. All you got to do is let these TV people come in and press your button, and, man, you get all the free time you want. 4 was all over it. Hank Testicle at Channel 6, he was all over this thing. Juan Mendieta from Channel 7, he was here on Sunday.
Sanchez called, by the way. He's supposed to call back.
Who did?
Ricky Sanchez.
Oh, Ricky Ticky. But at any rate, so all these other, and Channel 10, nowhere to be found. Come to find out, Ann left it in her will. You know Ann?
That fucking bitch.
She's another one. Left it in her will that anybody at Channel 10 gives Neil Rogers, that fat faggot, look who's talking, sweetheart, any publicity is out. How do you like that? So from her grave, but I noticed that there's a pretty cheap mic too, by the way. Channel 10 finally made it here today. They're all here. The TV people are here. You'd think that something was actually going on. Then Ellie Brecker comes to her. If there's nothing else going on, just keep in mind, we may even have to subscribe to the Herald. You can always get a copy of the Herald and go for 4 hours nonstop on the crap that's in this paper. Nonstop crap. She says a resigned Greg Reed. Oh, he resigned? No wonder he's not here this week. A resigned Greg Reed, QAM's Vice President and General Manager. He's going to carve me up. It's been a lot of discussion about stuff he thought was major that we thought was minor. Everything to him is life and death. He had a lot of time on his hands. Yeah, I got something on my hands all right, Greg, it ain't time. You know what I'm talking about?
A lot of masturbation went on.
But I mean, yeah, minor things. Like, are we going to have a studio to work in that you promised? I mean, when somebody comes to you and makes all kinds of representations, come to work for me, I'm going to build you a studio, we're going to do this, we're going to give you all this money, and then you have to go stand on your head to get them to live up to the promises, then I guess it's only minor things. Like 9 o'clock last night, we're in here frantically. Are we going to go on? When douchebag from Channel 4 was here yesterday morning, and I said to him, if we get on tomorrow, it'll be a miracle. And it is a miracle. It's a freaking miracle, ladies and gentlemen, that we're on the air here today. It's one of the most astonishing things. The pyramids was a piece of cake compared to this. Because basically what they did was they had one guy do the job of 5 people, and then they gave him like half the equipment, which of course wasn't bought brand new. I mean, some of the real cheap stuff, yeah, brand new, but the expensive stuff came from the other Beasley stations in places like Norfolk, Virginia, and Canandaigua, New York, some of the big Beasley markets. And so they shipped down to us a little bit here, a little bit there, and that was basically it. So poor George Corso had to work a one-man engineering department. We're going to build a statue to him. Of course, the main problem is we might not be on air long enough to finish it, all depending on that damn that competition. I mean, the stupid talk network, this thing, I thought, seriously, after Paxson, I thought I could never see any more incompetent, stupid people in my life. Guess what? Surprise! First I came over here, and then we see what Clear Channel is doing. Don't let me forget that IOD thing. That's got to be on immediately, if not sooner. Here is the death of one of America's most unique, amazing radio stations in history. In fact, today, in honor of WIOD, they came, Paxson butchered it, slaughtered it, ripped it, raped it, tortured it. Harry Valentine, Harry Penis, Walter Sabo, Peter Bolger. Nice ass sucking, by the way. You notice how Peter Bolger started with INZ. He was with that other company, whatever the hell the name was, with Guy Gannett. Then he moved on to Paxson, and now, thank God, he's still with Clear Channel as he continues sucking his way up the corporate ladder, destroying everything in his wake. Pete, you're not fooling anybody, sweetheart. Unfreaking believable. So Clear Channel comes in their infinite wisdom. They take a station that's been talk and entertainment for like the last 4,000 years, and they're going to make it the news station. Did you see Mike Wolf? And by the way, Mike is a good guy. He's got a great voice, good newsman, married to the boss. But good guy. He is. He's married to the boss. He's married to Ronna Wolf, okay? You think a Jew like her changed her name to Wolf just for the hell of it? God, get with it. But anyway, he's on the news last night explaining the new format and why they made the big swish between the IOD and INZ and about how the signal and and the moon up your ass. I mean, give me a break already, will you? This is the dumbest damn thing. And, of course, we're not complaining. And that stupid Talk Network lineup, I feel sorry for Suds. I almost said Rick and Suds. I don't feel sorry for Rick. Oh, sorry, Rick. No, I actually, to show you what a decent guy I am and what a good mood I'm in from the great time I had for 7 months, I even feel sorry for Rick, which is saying a hell of a lot. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, is he going to be pissed? Rick, we just stole, this is payback. He stole all my stuff for the last 7 years. Why not steal one thing from his show? Yeah, he's going to say we stole that, too. You can have it back, okay? But I feel sorry for those guys following, let's see, 9 hours of dead air. How'd you like to come on following 9 hours of dead air? Mr. Ego, doing his old, tired light bulb shtick, and then, of course, they have to explain. They have to take like a half an hour to explain to you, well, if you're driving on the coast between A1A and this street, you turn to 1400. If you're like 2 blocks south, tune to 940. And I mean, what the hell are these people talking about? Only Clear Channel. They have put Paxson to shame, even though that Paxson stock's down to 7 3/4, by the way. But they have put them to shame. But Paxson is a moron, and he's a genius compared to the people at Clear Channel. So thank you, God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, whatever the hell is out there, for getting me the hell out of there just in time and for all those wonderful times the last 7 months. You know what I'm talking about?
A lot of masturbation went on.
Exactly. By the way, we want to apologize to the 4 people who used to listen to the Fabulous Sports Babe. We're very sorry, but that bitch is gone, okay? The Fabulous Sports Babe, a legend.
That fucking bitch.
In her own time.
This is Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
So anyway, where do I start? I got a list of all these things. I'll never get to any of them. Should we just take calls and we'll milk this for the next 5 years? By the way, I do want you to know we're here today and again tomorrow, and then Thursday we got the day off because they figure after 7 months, 2 days at a time is enough, and it's New Year's Day, and then we got a Panther game at noon. What is it?
Baby steps.
Yeah, take little baby steps, kind of like Greg Reed did with buying the equipment. Little baby steps, and then we'll move on. Maybe want to spend a few bucks, okay? Cheap bastard. No, he's okay. By the way, in one of the greatest acts of courage in the history of mankind, it's vacation time, it's New Year's, Greg Reed could have taken this week off and hidden from potential problems that we could have had here from his foot dragging, and he did. So, and he's gone. He's gone all this week. He leaves it to Bill Tanner, our consultant, Bluff Lindsay, our program director who's hiding in the corner with a nervous laugh. All these other people, our sales department, these people are left holding the bag while Greg is off, doing what he does best, hiding. Ever try to get Greg Reed to return a phone call? Well, we'll do 4 hours on that tomorrow. Now, sometime this week, I want somebody to call in on this show and tell me the big deal with this Princess Diana, okay? Can somebody explain to me? I'm in Rome. It's a Sunday morning. I wake up, turn on CNN International on my little 13-inch TV, and here's this car sitting on the highway, this banged-up, squeezed-up car. And I'm thinking, this must be an awful important car because they're like focusing on this for an eternity. They have accidents every day. We're like, here. All of a sudden the story starts unfolding. It was Diana, bada beep, bada boop, and she's dead and all this other stuff. What followed for the next weeks, months, for an eternity, for a lifetime, made JFK pale into insignificance. In my life, I have never seen such a Tsimus
over nothing. Who, I don't want to sound disrespectful, because I would never do that, right? But I mean, what is the big deal with her? What was the big story with Princess Diana?
That fucking bitch.
I mean, did anybody really care about her before she got killed? In fact, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to her, was the fact that she got killed. Now, all of a sudden, they're having this big ceremony, and the royal family are making a big tsimis, and the queen is there. She's nodding her head and saying, thank God you're dead, you know. Under her breath, she's muttering because they hated each other like poison, which they did. And the media people, you people are crazy. Oh, that's right, it's Channel 10. He's around. Don't take it personal. But the people in the media are crazy, and they're spreading their sickness all over the world because they got the NBC Stupid channel, and not affiliated with the Stupid Talk Network, by the way. And they got CNN International. They got CNBC is all over the world. So the sputum that they spread here in America, they spread all over the world simultaneously. So they're telling the public basically what is important and what you should be excited about and what is not. And they decided for whatever reason, because those silly Brits who still think that broad, the old pair, what the hell is an old pair, huh? I got an old pair. I'm sitting on them right now. What is an old pair? Is there anybody, be honest with me, is there anybody in this audience who ever heard of a goddamn old pair before this brought up there in New England off that little kid? Is there anybody? Nobody. You did? Yeah, because you got a little bratty kid. Okay, no, you have a nice kid. But you got a little kid, so you heard of an au pair. Nobody heard of an au pair any more than we ever heard of Johnny Versace, okay? And by the way, it's Gianni. It's not Johnny. It's not Johnny. Get with the Dago talk. It's Gianni. Never heard of the man in my life. But what was the big tsimis with Diana? Somebody sometime, and of course I'm sure
the landmine victims.
What?
The landmine children.
I thought it was the bags with the AIDS. She actually touched an AIDS guy. Well, with gloves and so on. No, she had barehanded. She did it barehanded and touched them too. But she kind of reminded me a little bit of Jackie Kennedy without quite so much money. You think? You think she had as much? Well, we'll find out. They're both dead anyway. What the hell difference does it make? But that's kind of what she reminded me, a gold digger. The whole thing was set up in the first place. He was boning, what's her name, the other broad, the night before they got married. Everybody knows that. Charles. Now, it's amazing. Can you imagine him getting stuck? Because at least, you know, the ears would keep him out. You know, if he got caught, the whole body went in, at least, you know, the ears would protect him at all costs with those big, that's probably why he's got ears like that, Charlie. And then, of course, at one point, when they shoot him from a distance, Prince William, everybody is all, a 15-year-old kid, okay? All the pedophiles are all whipped up about Prince William because they thought he was cute. He is as ugly as sin, okay? Forget about him. Trust me when I tell you. This kid, for a Brit, he looks kind of like human. The British are the most pathetic, the silliest people. You go to Amsterdam, like I've told you before, and I was there only 5 times this summer and fall, and the only people who are obnoxious are the Brits. All these British kids, because they're so constipated, they're so suppressed in their own country, and they go over there where they can actually do things. And they have like a little bit of freedom, and they get out of control, and they're loud, and they're drunk, they're obnoxious. It's like going to Sunrise. The bad part about this is we're not going to be able to hear Lardass. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes.
God.
How you doing, sir?
I've been counting it since you left.
A lot of masturbation went on.
Yeah.
Neil, I've missed you so much. I've been waiting.
Maybe that's why there's been so much more moisture in the air since I was off the air. People are looking for something to do to keep busy, I guess.
Oh man, Neil, it's great to hear you back. I mean, that's really all I called to tell you. And you know, I hope that they go down in flames. Everybody but Rick and Suds.
Yeah. Don't you feel, I mean, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Seriously, I mean, I'm not suggesting you're a programmer, but in this business, anybody can be a programmer. You drag them in off the street. That's what they used to do at IOD. But at any rate, I mean, if you had an IQ bigger than your little finger, I mean, look at this lineup. They got Mr. Ego doing geriatric talk in the morning, and of course he's on 1400, he's on 1290, I mean, you got to have a roadmap and a compass to find out which station which one is on, and of course you don't want to hear any of them in the first place except maybe Rick and Suds, and by the time they come on, every radio in town is off anyway.
Well, the thing that was funny is yesterday by chance I just happened to turn on at like 11 o'clock, and I heard something about, you know, like Jesus this, Jesus that. I was like,
Well, don't tell me Paxson bought the thing back.
I have no idea. But, Neil, what you were just saying about being a programmer, I happen to have met Rick Riley, and I don't remember who the guy, the program manager was, before they went, or when they first went to Clear Channel.
Yeah, you mean you don't mean Peter Bolger, do you?
Yes, I did. No, wait a minute. Yeah,
Harry Penis? Harry Valentine?
Yes, it was Harry Valentine. Because,
and by the way, thank you again, Harry Valentine, for having that momentous dinner with me at Burton Jack's and convincing me, even though you didn't intend to do it, that you're a complete asshole, a Walter Sabo clone, and that's what convinced me not to sign the Paxson deal. And thank the Lord, if there is one, which I doubt, but thank goodness anyway that I wised up in that dinner with Harry Penis.
But I met them at that Sweet Tomatoes place that used to be across the way from IOD.
In fact, I always knew deep in my mind that if I ever had a great experience in my life, it would be with a Harry Penis.
Well.
But anyway.
You know, you're great. And all I was going to say was, I said
God Almighty,
Yeah.
I said to him, why can't you bring Neil back? And he goes, sir, we're not interested in bringing Neil back. And I said, fuck you. Oh.
Yeah, okay. Well, now we get a chance to see if that thing works. That was great. I think that was an inside job. That was probably Greg calling in from out of town to see if the dump works. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hi, where did you go on vacation when you were, what countries did you travel to?
Italy.
Did you go to Spain?
Never went to, no, I've been to Spain once. I was to Madrid last year.
Yeah, I had called you before you had went to Spain. I recommended it because I have some family there, and I had listened to you when you called back, and you were complaining about the sidewalks and stuff.
Madrid was, everybody says I should have gone to Barcelona, not Madrid.
Well, the real nice places are like Segovia and Toledo, those towns outside. I just want to say something. I'm a student at FIU.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to talk about the hypocrisy among the Cuban-American people here. They say that the one thing they're fighting for is democracy in Cuba, but I can't have my own.
Yeah.
I can't have my own ideas at school because I had said that I believe in socialism.
Communist.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the commie pinko.
And I was attacked by a few students, and I was just saying the hypocrisy. Even on a campus, you cannot even have your own. Can
I explain something to you? And I have encountered this in Europe, although I guess they're loose. They're more loosely. They're born with a little bit looser foreskin in Europe.
Okay.
But the Cubans, they're tightly wrapped. Okay. And as a result, you know how like when there's pressure on the brain, it's hard to think clearly?
Yeah.
And a lot of the Cubans, especially the older ones, after years, of, and by the way, I discovered also on my trips, because in Italy they got all the great cheeses, provolone and mozzarella, and the Spaniards also, speaking of going to Spain, are famous for their own cheese, pecorino.
Well.
Were you aware of that, sir?
No, I was not.
1, 2, 3, yeah.
No, I was not. And another thing that I'm happy about is that the Pope is going to Cuba, because at least they can celebrate Christmas.
The call.
Huh?
I'm going to print his phone number.
Get out of here. Philip and Spick, George Rodriguez is talking to China. Pay no attention to him, okay? On the one hand, he's knocking the old Cubans and poo-pooing it, and then he turns around, and the minute you say the truth about the old Cubans, he starts getting all paranoid.
But it's true. Everybody.
He's a Cuban that spends all his spare time in North Carolina, so what do you expect?
Everybody felt so bad about this Mascanosa guy. This guy was a millionaire.
By the way, I'm so glad you mentioned that. Here, not only is Ellie Brecker, whom I love you, Ellie, don't take it personal, but she doesn't know what she's writing. But on the other hand, here is the talk about spineless. They even make Greg Reed look good. The Herald cancels Tropic Magazine a week ago Sunday because they wrote an article about Jorge Mas Canosa in which they said no mas, not sarcastically or negatively, but they were afraid that some of the uptight old Cubans with bombs would misinterpret it, and therefore they pulled the entire Tropic Magazine. One of the most spineless acts in the history of journalism, if you can use the word journalism in connection with the Herald. Unfreaking believable.
One thing that
everybody in this town, including the people who work at the Herald, are holding their heads tightly and just holding their heads in shame. They can't believe it because they're afraid they might offend 3 old spicks down there at Domino Park.
Exactly.
Because they said, and of course everybody knows that the Herald and Jorge Mascanosa hated each other like poison.
Yes.
And what was the big Timmons with him anyway? Who needed him?
The one thing about it, I have a sister in Cuba, and I'm happy that they were able to celebrate Christmas, and I'm happy that the Pope's going to go there and maybe give them a little bit of hope.
Yeah, you know something? The Italians are glad he's going there. They just hope he doesn't come back to Rome. Have a great day, pal.
Pinko.
Oh, man, do they hate the Pope in Rome. Let me say it again. One of the great things about going to Italy, no matter where you go, 3% of the people in Italy go to church. The other 97% are smart enough. They've seen enough of this bull crap. They say, up your nose with a rubber hose, okay? They make an offer they can't refuse. Get out of here with that crap, okay? I'll never forget, as long as I live, the day we were walking in Rome and saw the Getchke store where they sell all those. I told you about this. Was this before I went on maybe not. Where they sell, I'm sure it was. They sell all the outfits for the cardinals and the whatever.
The dresses.
Dresses for men. Dresses for guys. For all the guys there in the Vatican running around in drag. But I mean, velvet, very expensive, very lush plush, which of course you suckers are paying for every time you stick your money in a collection box. Unfreaking believable. But they sure are dressing well, make no mistake about that. Lovely outfit. Okay, let's go to Hollywood.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil O. Gangsta Mac.
Hey, how you be doing?
How you doing?
Great.
Listen, I don't know what happened over there at 610. Listen, is Grego still on the air?
He's on at night.
Wow, he's such a smug. Just for fun, I used to call him and tell him, I can't wait till Neil rips you a new a-hole.
I wouldn't even waste my time. I mean, he's such a note talent, and One Note Charlie. They got a bunch. They all sound the same. All the people that Walter Sable brought in.
They're nothing but rock music DJs trying to host talk shows.
Hey, very well put, sir. In fact, we're going to bring you over here to program this joint. You're right on the money, man.
Listen, I want to give a couple shout-outs. Can I give some shout-outs?
We get some shout-out. Like I said. So what was he doing?
A lot of masturbation went on.
Speaking of that, by the way, I want to tell you about the biggest scam, or at least one of the biggest scams going anywhere, and that is magnets. Magnets. Now, I don't want to go into a big, long thing about this, but I might anyway. I have been in incredible pain on my foot. Thank God. Maybe it's psychological. Maybe it's a Greg Reed pain. But the last 2 months in the heel of my foot, they took x-rays. There's nothing in there. It might be a tiny bone spur. Baloney. I went, listen to this. Hemorrhoids, okay? Because you're traveling all over the world, you're eating bad diet, and you're irritating a lot of candy and ice cream and crap, and not eating the right foods. Pasta, tomato sauce, irritating. Bad hemorrhoids, real bad, okay? A real pain in the ass. I go to my proctologist, which I will not mention their names on the air for obvious reasons, because they're sitting monitoring right now. But at any rate, checks everything out. You got piles, okay? Thank you so much. After he looks deep inside my rectum, I got piles. Thank you. That's a bulletin. Then he sits me down in his orifice, and he's peddling me on, the greatest thing, magnets. Magnetic insoles for my feet, okay? $65 he peddles me for magnets, which everybody, Dan Marino's wearing them on his back. Look what it's doing for him, huh? Nice going, Danny. And racehorses, they're putting blankets on racehorses with magnets for their backs, for their this, for their ass. So I buy these insoles for my shoes. We go out to Vegas. I'm out there 3 or 4 days, walking around, running around, losing my ass. And my foot is starting to kill me from these goddamn magnets in my shoes. I take the magnets out because now at least I can walk a little bit. And as the days progressed, I realized I've got a serious problem in the heel of my foot that hurts like a mother, which only in the last 2 months of agony because of these freaking magnets. So let me just alert all of you out there. First it's, the pill that's going to make you. How's the Linda Energy doing, by the way? How's good old Linda doing with that Fen? Bought any lately, guys? First it's some crap like that. Then it's some other quackery with the lecithin, kelp, B6. Remember those you're going to lose weight. Take, a few of these, you'll lose some weight. It's in your wallet, you're going to lose the weight. You'll feel a little bit lighter, like about $10. And now it's magnets. And the worst part of it is it's a pyramid scam, and the people who are involved in this they're like Moonies. They're brainwashed. They're obsessed. It's everything is a pyramid. Exxon is a pyramid. The whole world is a pyramid, but it's great for you. You got to learn up on it. Yeah, I learned up on it, all right. My foot is killing me already, okay? I think that my proctologist was looking to branch out in other areas, so to speak. Because have you ever wondered what kind of a young man who goes to medical school chooses proctology to be his profession, to be his area of endeavor, so to speak? As in rectum. What is that? What kind of person wants to look inside other people's rectums all day? Let's get serious, okay, Doc? So it's no wonder he's looking to branch out a little bit. Get off my ass, Doc. Okay, here's Miami. Hello?
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what's your problem with faggots, you Christ-killing Jew-boy?
All right, now we're talking, okay? Now we're talking. Forget the fag stuff. Let's get that kike stuff in there. Now we're done. Happy Hanukkah, too, by the way.
I want to bang you in the butt, honey.
With all the controversy over the Neil Rogers show, we decided to run a comparison profile between Ed Watkins, a new listener, and Bob Newballs, a WQAM veteran. Ed, would you mind telling us your annual income?
Oh, I'd say $150,000.
Okay, and Bob, how much do you earn annually?
Well, I don't know, but I'm kind of sure it goes up when I donate my sperm.
I see. Ed, what kind of car do you drive?
I have a Beamer Z3.
Bob?
I've got me a 79 C10 that don't got any floorboards.
Ed, what are your thoughts about Neil's show on WQAM? Most enlightening and entertaining on an eclectic level.
Bob, I'll tell you what, there ain't nothing like the Boog and the Sports Babe. Lord, I miss them. Why, I could listen to sports all day. For a real man listens to sports all day long. Why, this here Neil feller is a homosexual.
Misguided homophobe.
What? Hey, don't you go calling me names I don't understand.
Shut up.
I'll kill you, gay boy lover.
Get a life. This concludes the WQAM listener profile. You decide.
Okay, well, we certainly do have a lot of men, different kind, though, so I hear. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I'm a professional golfer, and I kind of disagree with this Casey Martin thing. If you've played at high level, caliber golf, it's not like just going out with your buddies and running around and just slapping it all over the park. The guy definitely has a distinct advantage by going out there playing with a cart, and especially.
So why can't we make it optional? What difference does it make if a guy's got a cart or not?
Well, it's because of the fatigue factor. How about if you got to walk it when in a hot peak of summer? When it's 110 degrees outside.
Breaks my heart. Just breaks my heart, man. See, when you're talking about athletic ability, when you're talking about golf ability. You're talking about hitting the ball, putting. That's what you're talking about. Those are the two things you're talking about, is hitting the ball either off the tee or approach shots and putting. As little as I know about golf and couldn't care less, that's what it's all about. Nobody cares about how big you are, how strong you are. Those things should all be eliminated. A guy that weighs 350 pounds should be able to have just as much opportunity if he's a great golfer and can do all the other, has the skills that, would make him a top golfer. Nobody cares whether he can walk 150 or 200 yards.
Well, but the point is though, I know from playing, when I take a cart and play, and as opposed to walking and play, I know I'm definitely a lot more tired after a round walking than I would be in a cart.
So?
There's no doubt about it. Well, that's the whole point.
Like I said, it should be optional. How about, let's take baseball as an example. How about Alex Fernandez, who looks about as much like an athlete as I do, who's got an ass bigger than the building that I'm sitting in. Do you think that he's a great athlete?
Sure, he's an athlete, of course.
Based on what?
To throw a ball like he does, sure, it takes athletic. To sit on that mound all night and work them pitchers over definitely takes athletic ability.
There you go.
Just like it does to carve out a golf course.
Only in the sense that he can stand out there on a mound and throw a baseball 90 or 95 miles an hour and do whatever he does to get guys out. That's what it's all about. Not because of the fact that he's in great shape or he could walk from here to Montana without breaking into a sweat. Nobody cares about that.
Well, is John Van Breesbrook a great athlete? Is he considered an athlete? All he does is stand there in the gold net all night and
I got news for you. John Van Breesbrook is 100 times the athlete that any professional golfer will ever be. Let me say it again. He's 1,000 times the athlete that any golfer will ever be. Do you watch hockey games?
Sure I do.
And you think that all he does is stand there in front of the net? Have you ever seen the goalie get crashed into like he has like the last couple of games?
Well, if you knew what it took to shoot 62 on a golf course, maybe you'd have a different idea.
Go powder your nose, will you? Go see which shade of brown or blue it is this week. What it took to shoot a 62 on a... Who gives a flying crap what it takes to shoot a 62 on a goddamn golf course? And like the guy said before, which was one of the best calls I've ever had in my life, it's a game, not a sport. It's a goddamn game. And in this case, it's a rich man's game for guys who either got a lot of money or have some sponsor that's going to put them out there on the tour so that instead of getting a real job, they can go out there running around whacking a goddamn golf ball. But don't tell me that because somebody's got a handicap, he should be denied the opportunity to play a game. Blue nose, man. It makes you want to puke. Oh, yeah, they're great athletes. See, people are... I'll give you an example. Jockeys. Jockeys are some of the greatest athletes in the world. And yet very few people, if you say, well, who are the greatest athletes? Oh, football players and golfers. Yeah, right. Ever watched the thoroughbred horse race and seen the danger and the split-second decisions that have to be made and how close those horses are going a zillion miles an hour to each other? Big 2,000-pound beasts with a mind of their own. And here's this little guy weighs 102 pounds, and he's sitting on there with holding the reins, and he's going to try to control this 2,000-pound animal and get him to go to the right, to the left, to make the move just at the right time. These are unbelievable athletes. Who's the better athlete? I would say Tiger Woods is the best athlete in the world, is what I would say. Wouldn't you agree? Hope we hear from a lot more blue noses and brown noses today because, God, if I could just learn what it takes to go out there and shoot a 62 or a 69. Even George, who is, as you know, not a sports buff to say the very best, even he's pissed off. The more I think about the last call, the angrier, I'm almost going to get my piles back, I think, from that caller. Oh, yeah, the tremendous amount of athleticism and the tremendous amount of energy. Oh, get out of here. First of all, they got a caddy to carry the caddy's the one that ought to be making most of the money. He's schlepping around there getting all worked up, carrying those heavy goddamn clubs on his back. And every time you watch any of this golf on TV, which you can't avoid because on the weekend, to fill the time, that's all they got on there. And they show, the guy hits the ball. And that's it. And now he puts the club back in the bag. The caddy's hunched over. He's carrying 100 pounds of bags on his back. And now they walk very, very slowly and casually up the course to the next tee. Very, very, very slowly. I mean, give me a freaking break, okay? And this guy has the gall to compare any golfer. And forget about the fact I'm a hockey fan and he compares him to the Beezer. He just happened to choose that. But to a hockey player... Just when the Beezer is standing out there on his skates, shuffling his feet during the national anthem, he's exerting more energy at that point than any golfer in any goddamn whole tournament put together, you jackass, you idiot, you moron, you blue-nosed idiot, imbecile. Words escape me at this point to find that there could be any people that stupid. But I guess the whole golfing world, it's a whole separate mentality there, a blue-nose mentality. What's that expression again in this thing? Oh, yeah, it's unfair to traditions of the game. That's right, these great athletics. But what do you expect from people who are stupid enough to watch this crap? I mean, you talk about having no life, that you would sit and actually watch hours of this horse duty. to watch a bunch of guys sitting there whacking a ball. If you want to go out and play it, get some exercise, more power to you. Te salud. But if you want to go out there and sit in your fat ass drinking beer watching a bunch of guys whacking it, and the ball too, and you got serious...
That watch golf don't drink beer, do they?
Oh, I wouldn't think so. Maybe a little Chablis. Maybe a good Chianti with some fava beans. Yeah. And I'm sure that some of you did watch, and shame on you, the entire OJ thing. I noticed this morning I was turning on, was NBC. And they had a good piece on there. They had one of the attorneys from the civil case, the Goldman's attorney, from the civil suit. And he told it exactly the way it is. I mean, just precisely. And they showed some of the clips, and Chris Meyer was getting all puffed up in the face and red in the puss and agitated. I guess Chris maybe expected OJ was going to come clean right there on the air, which he should have, but of course he didn't, and you knew he would not. And then he's trying to well, the thing he said in Esquire about if I did do it, I did out of love. It was taken out of context. Right. You did it, you murdering bastard piece of crap, you. And now people are wondering, well, how come he's doing all this public appearances now? Because he's trying to rehabilitate his image now. He's trying to come back into the mainstream. He figures enough time has passed, he's tired of being an outcast, and he wants back in. And he gets on there and lies and lies and lies. Oh, well, there was only one beating. There was only one time they ever got physical. Oh, Jesus, give me a break. Give me a freaking break. And, of course, poor Chris Myers, he's a jock guy. He's a sports guy. He don't have the facts there in front of him. He doesn't have the list of all the damn dates of all of these incidents that were well documented, especially in the civil case, which, by the way, he was found responsible, meaning guilty, that, yes, you did murder them and you owe them $33 million, even though they're not getting a penny of it. Got $4 million in his trust fund, in his pension fund, whatever the hell it is, which they can't touch a penny, and doing the best to hide each and every dime that he's got. So here's a guy that really is very, very concerned about making sure that, people get paid, that his kids get taken care of and everybody else too. Just unbelievable. Something, now that I think of it, even though I only saw the end of it, I'm glad they did put him on. I'm glad they put him on again as a reminder of what a piece of turd he is. I hope he turns, what's his favorite thing? Golf. I rest my case. And here's a guy who allegedly has 2 bad knees. He can barely walk. He's got arthritis. He's got this. His hands are shriveled. They're crumpled. They're ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bee. He can't do a damn thing. So what do you say? Should we give him a cart? Stick it into one of those walk-in ovens? Sounds good to me. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. Listen, on that golf thing, there's one thing that everybody forgot.
And what is that, sir?
The USGA and the PGA governs all the tours.
Yeah.
PGA Tour
right.
and the Senior Tour.
Right.
The seniors can ride if they want to.
Right.
So they're contradicting themselves.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you can take a guy because he's old or because of his physical condition and he's a pro and he can ride in the tournament, why can't this young fella do it?
Uh-huh.
Make sense?
Amen.
Good show.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Have a great day. Yeah, it seems to make sense to all of us with an IQ larger than our index finger, but not the Sun Sentinel and, of course, the Blue Noses and the players themselves who are spineless and gutless. And like they said on the worst team this morning, in private, they're positive, and I'm positive, too. A lot of these guys are saying, boy, this is a bunch of crap. But as usual in this country and in this world, very few guys, very few people anywhere have got the cojones to actually stand out from the group and say, this is injustice, this is a bunch of bullcrap, let this poor guy play and stop with all the caca, and we're all a bunch of overpaid, spoiled, rotten brats and making a lot of money, and cut the crap already, all right? Cut the crap. I mean, who the hell would you rather have playing out there on the tour? Casey Martin or Curtis Strange? You know what I'm saying? I rest my case. Or that goddamn Greg Norman. Send him to Australia. Send him back where he came from. I'm so tired of him. Oh, but he's Shula's good friend, and he's this one's good. Great. He's got more money than God. Let him retire already. And the same with that damn Nicholas and all those old farts on that. Let him go do something productive. Man, oh man. See, I don't understand that. How can you go your whole life and you played golf? You did it for a living. You did it very well. And then you get to a certain age, and you know what? And then you continue playing. There's the seniors tour. And it's like when they tried in hockey. You remember that lasted for about a minute and a half? That thing with the old farts league? Seriously, that lasted for about 3 weeks, and nobody had any interest. Nobody wants to see a bunch of old farts bumbling around out there watching Red Kelly. He's 75 years old, and Johnny Bauer and all these guys. Who the hell wants to see that? That's not sports, which proves what I've said all along. Because golf is not a sport in the first place. Oh, here we go, Channel 4, Journey of Hope with the Pope. The Pope's coming to Cuba, baby. All right, we got some hope. What the hell hope is he going to bring them? All he's going to bring them is a bunch of Stone Age, Dark Age crap and a bunch of empty promises which nobody will ever fulfill. A lot of rhetoric. And, of course, naturally, many of these Getchkis there will come on their hands and knees with their last few pesos like they do in Mexico and Brazil and all over Latin America. Oh, here for the Pope, for his operation, for his whatever. Yeah, those altar boys are a lot more demanding than they used to be. That's right. 40,000 lira. That don't cut it anymore. I'll guarantee you that. Here's a mobile in Delray Beach. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Just want to throw something out. You might have commented on it already.
Okay.
I just got in the car, but I was watching the news this morning, and I saw a story about that woman out in Texas they're about to execute.
Yeah.
And they were, she hacked all these people with ice picks, and she supposedly had an orgasm when she was doing it. This
Really?
came out. Yeah, this came out in the court and everything. But now they're getting ready to execute her, and she found God. Which, hey, to each his own. Everybody does their own thing. I'm not against that.
Mm-hmm.
But now the church is coming out that because she's born again, they shouldn't execute her, so on and so forth. And I'd just like to get your opinion on it. And if you don't mind, I'll hang up.
Well, wait, my opinion about what?
Nothing. What do you think about the whole thing? I think it's ludicrous
Of course
that these
it's
people
ludicrous.
they're coming out.
Oh,
and
listen, everybody that goes into Slammer, especially on death row, every one of them finds the Lord, from G. Gordon Liddy to, Colson and right on down the line. Every last damn one of them becomes a religious nut, and I say, I was going to say fry her ass, but they don't do that, do they? They lethal injection, right.
So,
stick her with a needle immediately.
Right.
She might enjoy it.
Take care, pal.
Okay, pal.
She's going to heaven anyway, right?
Yeah, she's going to be up there in heaven. She'll be at the squirrely gates. So what's wrong with that? If she believes, which of course is one of the really great parts about these religious nuts. No matter what you do during your life, if you accept the Lord before you croak, no matter how many people you killed, and if Hitler would have accepted the Lord on his deathbed, of course he wasn't in bed when he shot himself, well, if he would have done it there in the bunker with Guy Junker, I got you down. Exactly. Give me a freaking break already with heaven and hell and purgatory and the devil and the pitchfork. Go to hell. By the way, speaking of going to hell, did you see the thing on OJ yesterday? Which OJ remember a couple of years, how long has this thing been going on? Like last year, there were the rumors that he was going to come down here and move here, and everybody said, go the hell away. Everybody with a brain, that is, said, go the hell away, we don't want you here. And then it kind of cooled off, and he was building his new house or buying a new house in wherever the hell he is in L.A., and all of a sudden he's back again for another celebrity golf tournament for charity. This was yesterday, I guess. How come we didn't know about that?
Because we're all alone over here.
But it was Martin Luther King Day. Don't you understand the significance of this? It was Martin Luther. Oh, by the way, we have our DSS. Oh! So we're not as alone as you might think. But at any rate, he was in town yesterday at this charity golf tournament on Martin Luther King Day, this murdering, miserable, no good, let me chop you where it hurts the most bastard, is in our town. And they put it on the news last night. I'm at the track watching this, and OJ's getting comfortable here. He's starting to like it here. So I guess the rumors are resurfacing that just maybe he might be coming back. And not only is it bad enough that he's here, but they have to go out to the golf tournament and stick the mic in his face so he can give us all a lecture on morality. Did you be seeing that?
I saw a tease, but I didn't see the tease.
He'd be pissed off. He'd be highly pissed off, OJ.
Oh, man.
Exactly. Because he's sick and tired of all these judgmental people who just won't let go of it already. Just let go of it. And the knife, too, is what OJ be saying. Because, when you get to this was my favorite part. He says, when you get to the pearly gates, the man doesn't like people who, are judgmental and hold a grudge, whatever the hell he was saying. When you get to the pearly grates. And I'm thinking, well, what does the man think about guys who murder two people in cold blood?
It's okay if you read.
Oh, man.
Well, that's right. That's okay if you have enough money. It only hurts for a little while. That's what they say. So OJ's back to haunt us again. They're just some of these bastards who will never go away. Let me speak for the entire community except a few retarded people and some very, very stupid, misguided, horny women. You see the broad out there? Oh, she wants to marry him. This light-complected black chick. Which he's out anyway. He's not into black chicks, okay?
Oh, yeah. I want to marry OJ. I want to get near him. I want to sniff it just one time.
Enough to make you gag. Right there at dinner time at the track, too. Right in the middle of my dinner. So let me speak for just about everybody other than a few misguided hormonal bitches who couldn't get laid in a cucumber patch. We don't want you here, okay, OJ? We got enough problems. We got the damn Pope coming to Cuba. That's close enough tomorrow. We got enough problems with that. Go the hell away. And don't come back soon. And there was Richmond Webb, number 78. Oh, it's number 78, holding. Yeah, the man who's committed more penalties for the Dolphins in the last 3 years than all the other people on the team put together, including Keith Sims, even though he's gone. And there he was there at this charity golf tournament. Well, we got to move on, and it's for a good cause, and yeah, right. Whatever you say, okay, Richmond? 15 yards, number 78. Sorry. So he won't go away, and you know who else won't go away is that goddamn Oprah. She just will not go away. And you know what she reminds me of? On a much more sinister scale. Because there are some people who realize what a scumbag Larry King is. There are a lot of people who understand that. Especially people he still owes money to. But he's dangerous, like when he brought Ross Perot on there and he made him into a real presidential candidate single-handedly. Nobody knew from Ross Perot till Larry King decided he was going to play, Mr. Hotshot Maker. But Oprah's on there, and of course she's got this captive audience of millions of desperate, bored housewives who are like in between Jerry Springer, in between the hyperventilating housewives with no lives and tapioca pudding. Somewhere in between there is Oprah, worth billions of dollars with a B. Why? I haven't got the foggiest idea. A woman who has got nothing to say, a woman who brings nothing to the table, a woman who is not interesting, who is not brilliant, who is not articulate, who is not anything other than Elsie the boarding cow on a bad day. What?
It says girlfriend.
Okay, girlfriend. She's not the one that started that, is she?
Instrumental.
Well, yeah. Oh, I've heard the instrumental. The vocal's a lot better. But the instrumental wasn't bad. But at any rate, so there she is, and she's in this battle now. And, you know, I hate to say this, but I have to take her side on this issue. The thing about the beef? No, because 13 states, including Texas and Florida, by the way, have passed these laws that you can't, if you go on the air and you maliciously attack a product and you cost, in other words, they can prove that you've cost them millions of dollars, a substantial amount of money, and they question your motives if you haven't done it just because you're stupid. Now, in her case, I think just because she's stupid is evident. But the beef industry's got a beef. In fact, they ought to be on Thursday with the morning team. But at any rate, they've passed these repressive, unconstitutional laws, and mark my word, they will be found to be unconstitutional, so that if you go on here and you say these, you give your opinion, and people all of a sudden, whether it's about beef, and people stop going out and eating beef, and it costs them millions of dollars, well, too bad, you're SOL. And so they're having this big lawsuit. They're suing Oprah for $13 million, which is like pocket change to that bitch. And it really pains me that I have to take her side on this, because she happens to be right. If she had some vegetarian former beef guy on her show last year, 2 years ago, and the guy was talking about how they feed cows ground up diseased, they ground up cattle.
Carcasses of dead animals, excrement.
Like they put in dog food. Yeah, sounds tasty to me. In addition to which, whatever goes in comes out pretty much all the same way anyway, right? What goes in must come out. That's what Peter North says. So what the hell's wrong with that? And we don't have no mad cow disease in this country. So the bottom line is she evidently got a lot of her housewives all bent out of shape, the ones who weren't buying these tapioca pudding books that she's always promoting on there. God, I wish to hell I was on there for like one day. Just think of all the great books that I could promote on there one day. But, of course, would never have the power that this bitch has got, because she's got these simpleton housewives across America by the millions mesmerized. Just like she did with that Optifast. Remember that quack? Oh, yeah. One day she weighed 300 pounds. 6 days later she weighed 75 pounds on Optifast. And then, of course, people went on that diet, and they were croaking left and right. I'm surprised she never got on the fen thing. She's like a human accordion. One day she weighs 300, next day she weighs 30 pounds. She's like in between Karen Carpenter and Mama Cass, and not really sure which side she's going to come down on. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Neil.
Buenos dias.
I got a spy report. My
Yes,
brother
sir.
called me last night at 11 o'clock. He was at Miami Lakes golfing. He said, guess what? Who was in front of me? It was
no.
the infamous I Killed Nicole.
Oh, man.
And I told him, I said, you know what? My brother agrees that O.J. killed her. I says, he goes, I was staring at him, and then finally O.J. said, how you doing?
I killed Nicole.
And I told my brother, I said, what'd you tell him? And he says, well, he just said hello. But I said, you know what? I says, if people, the public, start seeing O.J. out there and start telling them, you know what, you killed Nicole. I told my brother, I said, you could have been in every major newspaper. You should have took out that 9-iron and just beat the crap out of him.
There's excellent. He could have been all over. He could have been hard copy, soft copy, inside edition, outside edition, Geraldo, Jenny Jones.
He would have been on Larry King.
He could have been. He could have been gigantic.
But I think that O.J.'s moving to town here, and
That's what I'm afraid of, man.
And like I said, I told my brother, I said, I'm not impressed by anybody except the Pope. Not even you, Neil. But if I saw O.J., I think I would have grabbed that 9-iron and just beat the crap
No, wait a
out
minute.
of
You're
him.
impressed by the Pope? A silly old man in a dress impresses you?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
Well, I just think he's different, and
Yeah, he's different. An old man in a dress with a beanie is different. You don't see too many of them. That's true. Why are you impressed by the Pope?
I guess because I'm Catholic.
And you've been brainwashed.
I don't think so. I think I have a level head.
I'm not asking you about your sex life. I'm asking you about your brain, sir. You've been brainwashed.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what the Pope says over there in Cuba.
Well, what do you think he's going to say besides Dominus Nabiscus will loan me $50? What do you think he's going to say?
Well, they say that every country he's visited, communist country, that it's fallen. It's become free.
There can be no question that the Pope is responsible for the fall of communism, just like one of his predecessors, Pope Pius XII, was responsible for the fall of the Nazis. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. There we go.
I'm going to church right now.
I'm getting on my knees right now. Well, that is if the boys are still in the building, the Backstreet Boys. He's not going to bring them down here, is he? That would be embarrassing.
Maybe they won't come down here.
Well, they're up there allegedly. Well, he wasn't sure they were showing up anyway. Said allegedly they're coming on with Kid Curry on Power 96. They don't play their music anyway, do they? George, during this last break, being the heathen spick that he is going through this long song and then Why you're preaching to the choir? Why are you telling me all of this about the archaic bullcrap of the Catholic Church and all the brainwashing? When you get to when you get to the squirrely gates, mister, with OJ, he be going in and you be going down. You be going on the elevator going straight down. He be going straight up. I want you to stop and think about that for just a second, okay? The pearly gates of heaven. See, people talk crap because they've been conditioned to talk it, and they've been conditioned by hearing other people talk this crap. Oh, when you get to the pearly gates. Have you ever seen that spot? I don't even know what it's for. They're all lined up at the pearly gates, and St. Peter is sitting there, and then somebody who's like 20th in line, does this line ever move? And then you see them go straight down. You say, yeah, I guess it does now. Like that. Yeah. I want you to stop and think about that. Here's like all these millions of people talk about a slow-moving line. Makes Disneyland look like a picnic. Makes the express line at Winn-Dixie look fantastic at 2 o'clock in the morning when it's the only one open. It's not moving at all. The pearly gates. And here's this murdering son of a bitch comes into our town, and he's lecturing us on we better cut the crap because the man up there, he don't be liking it. The man.
This is 560 QAM.
The pub's dope. The pub's dope. God gave him the grand. The pub's dope. He likes the smoking man. The pub's dope. He's a groovy head. The pub's dope. The pub's dope. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. God is higher, masculine, Satan higher back. Folks in Rome get stoned on grass, Jesus freaks out back. Jesus Christ is super hippie, never shut up junk. Folks in Rome get stoned on road, priests in church get drunk. The Pope loves dope, God give him the grass. The Pope loves dope, he likes his fucking ass. The Pope loves dope, he's a groovy head. The Pope loves dope, the Pope loves dope. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Now taking Joe right up the hill, keep the J-Pail on water. Jill forgot to take a pill, now she got in torture. Taking pills is not a joke for a proven pope. Birth control can be a took of marijuana smoke. The Pope smokes dope, God gave him the grass. The Pope smokes dope, he likes to stick a man. The Pope smokes dope, he's a groovy head. The Pope smokes dope, the Pope smokes dope. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, the Pope is getting higher. 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 The Pope smokes dope, God gave him the grass. The Pope smokes dope, he likes to smoke an ass. The Pope smokes dope, he's a groovy head. The Pope smokes dope, the Pope smokes dope, the Pope smokes dope, the Pope smokes dope. Oh,
But he is a much more reasonable man. Make no mistake about that. Divorce, unacceptable. Abortion, unacceptable. Birth control. Fags, okay, unless they're in the church and doing the altar boys. That's okay. Birth control, you got to have that old rhythm, man. You got to be saying, I got rhythm. That's the only one that's acceptable. And obviously it's working really great in all those third world countries where they're reproducing like rabbits, like cockroaches. And you can be sure he's going to be peddling that same Stone Age garbage in Havana tomorrow and everywhere he goes around the world as they continue perpetuating the misery and suffering of overpopulation all over the world. That's the one thing they do better than anything else, beside brainwashing, is perpetuate misery, starvation, and suffering. And it's interesting, when you are in Rome, by the way, the only people over there at the Vatican are the Getchkis, these schleppers who come on their hands and knees, and then, of course, the tourists who go over there and they buy the crosses and all the other, the trinkets, the souvenirs. I hate to tell you this, but the Jews own the souvenir shops. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Buenos dias.
thank you very much, and you and George, for a great show yesterday.
Oh, thank God somebody heard it. I thought we'd been flooded today with people saying, boy, we sure enjoyed that. Let's do it again soon, like maybe today.
It was a great gift, and I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome.
About the Pope, I don't know if you saw the Washington Post or any paper back in November when the Pope talked to a Vatican consul and condemned the actions of Christians before and during the Holocaust. I think he told the Vatican Conference the Christian world contributed to the rise of anti-Semitism and then failed to fight it as the Jews were being slaughtered during World War II.
Right.
He came very, very close to issuing an apology for the actions of Pope Pius.
Close but not cigar. No
which
cigar.
I believe is his next step, and that's what's interesting about this Pope. I don't see him, I have no affection for organized religion, and I agree with you about most of it. I'm not exactly sure about a supreme being. I'm still wondering about it. But my mind is open, one way or the other. What's interesting about this...
What is interesting about this man in a skirt?
What's interesting about him is that he is being used politically as a way of undermining Castro. And as...
But let me ask you this. How is he undermining Castro? In other words, when he leaves Cuba in a couple of days... Are you suggesting to me that Castro is going to fall, or that somehow his power base there is going to disappear?
Oh, no, not at all.
Because he's better. One thing Castro is much better at doing than the church even is indoctrinating and brainwashing, and he's got those Cubans over there so brainwashed that other than El Duque and a few baseball players, they think they're living the life of Riley. They're happy as a pig in slop, and they love Fidel.
Oh, no, I'm not suggesting he's going to contribute to Castro's...
So how is he undermining him?
He's allowing some of the dissidents in Cuba... the courage to maybe speak out a little more. And it's very incremental, it's very small, I understand that. But this is probably his main contribution to his visit to Cuba. That's all. I understand it's very kind.
I got to go back and eat pasta in Rome then.
I understand. And by the way, about...
And let me ask you this. What business does this man, since he's a member of a religious, I was going to say cult, an organized religion, but it is a cult, since he is the leader, the titular leader, if I can say that, what business does he have running around the world telling people about foreign policy and what they should do and what they shouldn't do and criticizing capitalism? And who the hell cares what he thinks? Other than those people who are his sheep, okay?
Apparently a lot of people care about what he thinks. If nobody cared about what he thought, he wouldn't be doing it.
Well, let me ask you this. How come 97% of the people in Italy don't go to church?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean they don't identify as Catholics. You see,
no.
It's just like 97%
let me say this. Have you ever been to Rome?
Wait a minute.
Have you ever been to Rome?
Yes, I have. But let me tell you this. It's like 97% of the people in Israel don't go to synagogue, but they identify as being Jews. It's the same thing. It's a cultural thing more than religious.
There is a difference between being Catholic, as in being born Catholic, and as you say, identifying with a man who's preaching Stone Age garbage. When the Pope told them that divorce was illegal, they passed a law in Italy allowing divorce. When he told them that abortion was absolutely a sin, guess what? They have abortions all over Italy. It's legal in Italy, okay?
Well, I'm saying that people identify with him more culturally than they do.
Well, what does that mean? They don't need him to eat pasta. What does culturally mean?
He's Polish.
Exactly. They don't know kielbasa anywhere. I've been in Italy.
Well, it's just a thought of mine. You're probably right, but I just wanted to.
I'm not going to try to put words in your mouth or anything else. And everybody's entitled to an opinion. I'm more than happy to hear it. However, it seems to me that you're making an attempt. Maybe you're trying too hard to be a nice guy, and you're making an attempt to make a case for this man where there isn't any. There's no case there.
That could probably be true. By the way, when I'm on hold during the break. Your conversation or George's conversation with you came over the phone.
Oh, of course.
And it was very interesting. I would be interested to hear what it was at 9 years old that George had this epiphany that he was talking about.
No, George at 9 years old realized it was all a bunch of bull crap and said, screw this.
Well,
have a great day, pal.
You too, George.
And God bless you. See, they like it. That's another reason to call. You can hear George hawking a chime, pop, 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 pop. And believe me, he does. He does his own show to me, which, like I said, it's preaching to the choir. I'm the captive audience here, but he has to get it off his little chest. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
Okay. Do you remember saying,
Really? I can't hear you too well.
Yeah.
That's better.
Did God create man or did man create God?
Easy question.
Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
Do you remember when you were on WNWS used to say?
No, I don't.
Well,
I have bad Alzheimer's.
I remember. Used to say, is there a green leprechaun on my shoulder?
As a matter of fact, there is now.
There is?
When you get this old, there's a little green leprechaun that stands on your shoulder and hops around. It's either that or psoriasis.
And you also talked about God helps those who help themselves.
Yes.
Does that mean he condones shoplifting?
Don't remember that one, but you must have a lot of material on tape.
No, not on tape, just in the memory.
Right.
And how about if he's such a wonderful God, how could he make the waters crash down on the Egyptians who are chasing after the Israelis?
And how about this El Nino
remember that?
business? I talked about this the other day. El Nino, here's the Christ child, and he's screwing up the weather, and people are dying and freezing to death thanks to the Christ child. That should tell you what people think of religion.
But we're all God's children.
There you go. Isn't that sad? Have a great day. He must be really, really busy. He must be pretty busy up there or out there or in there or under there, wherever the hell he's hiding these days, or on the side of that bank building. Plus, I know that a lot of people in this audience get very antsy and they think I do too much of this. The real thing is I don't do enough of it. That's the thing. I am so sick and tired of a media and an entire, other than maybe, Screw Magazine, which is our good pornographer friend Al Goldstein, and a few pornographic publications, which of course most people discard because if it's a sexual nature, then obviously you're going to go to hell anyway for looking at it or reading it, but let's see what's in it, please. But other than that, there is nobody in this goddamn country that's got the balls to come out and talk about, here, this Pope thing is a classic example. Where's the other side of this? Whereas even the other side in this community, which you'd expect to see this big conflict, with the Cubans about, on the one hand, as much as they've been brainwashed and they're good obedient Catholics and they bring their money to church and put it in a plate every Sunday and they stick that wafer in their mouth and whatever else looks good. In spite of all that, here's this guy coming consorting with Fidel, who is like the devil incarnate. This son of a bitch Fidel, they hate like poison, and with good reason, okay? And so they've got this tremendous conflict. And yet in this community, man, they've managed to shove all this under the carpet. They've covered it all up. And the entire media here are covering this thing like it's the second coming of Yoshki and Joseph Smith and Abraham Solomon. It's just unbelievable. You think this was the greatest thing that since they invented the popsicle, for Christ's sakes? What's so great about it? Oh, and then, of course, I remember years ago when he was here. What was that, about 10, 11? It was 11 years ago, because I was on INZ. Oh, my God. And guess who was the MC? You'll never guess this. Gregory Benjamin Budell was the MC of this parade thing they had downtown for El Papa. A man who keeps asking the question, is there anybody out there who doesn't hate me like poison? Gregory Budell. A man who does more radio jobs in 6 months than most of us have ever done in a lifetime. And this man was there emceeing and, oh, God, that's good, et cetera, and so on. There's a guy who's been well-adjusted from his Catholic upbringing, right? Guilt, baby. That's what it's all about. And like Madeleine Murray O'Hare, that bitch, where is she, by the way? Whatever she said, without hell, religion isn't worth a damn. And that's right. Without the fear of being punished, without the fear of not having eternal life, which is the most ridiculous thing. It's like O.J. saying, when you're up there at the pearly gates, the man get upset at the pearly gates. If he was so worried about the pearly gates, he wouldn't have off those two people in a fit of passion. He was pissed off, man. Worried about the goddamn pearly gates, my ass. This is such garbage, such nonsense, such sputum, man. And like I've said so many times, and I'll keep saying it as long as I got a breath in this old, pathetic, faggy body of mine, if they spent like 1/10 of the money and energy that they do on brainwashing the world with this horse crap to try to solve the problems that are out there and feed the people who are starving to death, including that poor old bag Mother Teresa. And I'll grant you, she may have never stolen a freight train. And she was wrinkled up and disgusting and old and probably smelled bad. And nobody cared because she chose the wrong time to croak when Diana did. But in the meantime, she was running around the world peddling the same crap, a horseball. And if they would have just sold all the artwork they got in the Vatican, they'd have enough money to feed all the starving people. Billions. Billions and billions with a B. And if they had all the money that was ripped off in a Vatican bank scandal, they'd have all that much more money. They could all be driving at least little brown Toyotas anyway, all these schleppers, even in places where they don't have any roads yet. They were showing yesterday, speaking of Martin Luther King Day, they were showing some of these revival things, some of these, oh my God, what is that all about? It's like something out of a Tennessee Williams play. These people are like rocking and rolling around. They're rolling around on the floor and the Spirit is getting to them and they're speaking in tongues and they're rolling around on each other. And oh God, that's good. Talk about St. Vitus dance. Talk about watching people who look like they have gone totally mentally, like it's time to get the butterfly net out, boys and girls.
3 times a week at that Assembly of God church right by your house. Oh, yeah.
They'd be speaking in tongues? All right.
And healing.
Let me just lay it out to you, and I really would challenge anybody to debate this. Since the Cubans in Cuba have lived under Castro and communism for almost 40 years now, since 1959, and since virtually all of those people have been brought up without religion, they're economic prisoners of Castro's regime is what they are. political and economic, because they can't express it as any point of view. But if they had food, if they had a decent lifestyle, they wouldn't give a crap. They don't care about comunista. They don't care about capitalism. They don't care about religion, any of that. If they just could, get their food and their medicines and whatever they need to live like human beings, that's what they care about. Now, unless I'm mistaken, unless the news media have missed something drastic here, and I don't think they have, because they've covered this thing, everything from the Pope's fingernails to his rectum, to everything in between. We've had great details, most of which we don't need to hear about all of it. So unless I'm missing something, he isn't bringing truckloads and truckloads and plane loads of cargo. It'd be hard to bring the trucks, I guess. Plane loads of all this good stuff to feed the people, to bring their medicine, to bring all these things which they are desperately being deprived of.
Well, why the hell not?
Because
he swing it.
They don't have time for that. He's busy collecting money from the Getchkis who are going to come on their hands and knees, just like they've been for years all over Latin America, and all these schleppers bringing their last few pesos. Oh, la papa, for whatever, you know.
Oh, El Papa.
No, La Papa. El Papa would be for a real man. I was saying El Papa up until this moment, but now let's at least be honest about it. What kind of a man wears a dress? Even guys that run around in drag dress better than that. Even Eddie Murphy would be embarrassed by that, okay? What's under the skirt, Pops? You know what I'm saying? What kind of crap is that? And you see all this archaic stuff, and they're running around with all those. I still wonder what is. They call it a mitre, don't they? That big thing that they're schlepping, and with those things, those hoods on their head. I thought only the Klansmen wore hoods on their head. And then he's sitting around there. They ripped off the beanie from the Jews, of course. They had to rip off everything from the Jews because we came first. And he's got his little ugly beanie there. And, it's a big Tzimmus, and he's coming there. But is he going to, he's going to take care of their spiritual needs. What the hell does that mean? What a rationalization for the fact that he's not going to come there and do a goddamn thing about the real problems that these people are suffering from. He's not going to free them politically. He's not going to feed them. He's not going to take care of their health and medical needs. He's not going to do a damn thing except do another big publicity stunt so we can keep the Vatican going. And you know something? If they took a vote, see, Italy is not like England where they're like tied with the monarchy, where they're all emotionally involved because they're emotional cripples. In Italy, they'd like to say Bafangula to the whole Vatican and a whole bunch of those goyim. They don't have any need for them. In fact, they would like to stop being. See, the Vatican gets pissed off. And so every now and then they come along with the polizia, and they close up all the adult establishments and clubs and bars where people might be having a good time because they want to suppress the people and control them as much as possible. That's what the Vatican, that's the purpose they serve in Italy. And by the way, they don't do a very good job because like 5 days later they all reopen again. All the gay bars, we have to shut down them because the fags are in there, including a lot. Send the priest to the bathhouse. They'll have a good time there. And they do. But if you ask the majority of the people, they need them like they need hemorrhoids. And believe me, as an expert on that subject, none of us need that.
Hi, Papa Juan Pablo.
The Pope's coming. Squirt. And it's going to be a big day in Havana, man. They're going to be free any second now. They were showing on CNN, now that we have our direct TV on our satellite thing here, they were showing all these Getchkis, and they're all sitting there. Have you ever noticed that when they pray, and they sit there and they put their hands together, it looks like their brain is going to pop out of their forehead if they have one in there? Like they're really concentrating very, very hard.
They're scrunching their eyes.
They're scrunching it, and their eyes too. So there's a lot of praying going on and a lot of carrying on, and here's this old man in a dress going to be in Havana today, and of course that's going to change everything, and you won't escape it. Keep your TV set in the off position. Lots of great sports stories, by the way. A lot of role models for all you people to get excited about this morning. First of all, here's Chris Webber. In too much of a hurry to get to practice, Chris Webber ended up with a face full of pepper spray, 6 hours in jail, and a marijuana charge. After a routine traffic stop for speeding, the Washington Wizards forward was arrested Tuesday and charged with assault, resisting arrest, possession of marijuana, driving under the influence of marijuana, and 5 other traffic-related violations. And it goes on and on and on. Then if you flip over on the other page, on the other side of it in the Scum Sentinel this morning, Dolphins Mosley arrested. Oh, no. Miami Dolphins quarterback DeNorris Mosley. You be knowing anybody named DeNorris? Huh? What is that? Is that like D-Rain in Spain? DeNorris Mosley was arrested Tuesday after allegedly firing a handgun outside a Monongahela. Is that it? Monongahela. I thought it was that's a different place. Monongahela, I think it is Monongahela County Strip Club in Morgantown, West Virginia. Mosley, who's from Pahokee. Does that tell you everything you need to know? He's from Pahokee, was charged with brandishing a firearm and shooting from a roadway, both misdemeanors, County Jail Sergeant Gary White said. Mosley later was released after posting $600 bond. Then we got in the hockey page in the sports section this morning, goalie Sean Burke of the Vancouver Canucks, formerly of Hartford and Carolina, wherever else he was, must complete an educational program on domestic abuse within 6 months as part of his punishment for assaulting his wife in November. Oh! Burke also was fined $200 and sentenced to 18 months probation after pleading guilty Friday to the November 2nd incident. And then on the letters to the editor page in the Sun Sentinel, just to round it out to make for a full, exciting day, here's a picture of Jose Canseco. And Donald Kogan of Boca writes, the headline read, Canseco deal keeps him out of jail January 8th. The Oakland A's, Jose Canseco, a 4-foot-inch, a 6'4" he's got 4 inches, huh? You know those big guys, trust me. A 6'4", 240-pound slugger was charged with violence against his estranged second wife. Canseco has also been accused of violence against his first wife. Well, at least he's consistent, goddammit. If you're going to beat up your first wife, in fact, I think O.J. should go back and get the first one, don't you? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Canseco has also been accused of violence against his first wife. After pleading no contest, he was sentenced to counseling and fined $258. Quite a sum for someone who earns millions. Again, our system turns the other cheek for a pampered athlete, says Donald Kogan of Boca. Unfreaking believable. So the beat goes on. Oh, my God, look at these guys. These
you want
guys,
them in there now?
They can come in here now. They look harmless to me. They don't look like axe murderers, anything like that. They can come on.
Well, the one does, kind of.
Now, which one is that? Is that AJ that looks like the axe murderer? How you doing? The Backstreet Boys are really... Now, AJ is the one with the tattoos, or is that... You're AJ. And this is Kevin. See, now it's a mirror. Did they know who you guys were upstairs at Power 96? Yes. They did know who you were, but like individually they know who you were? Oh, you haven't been on there yet. Well, they don't have any idea who you guys are. I mean, I got...
This mic right here?
That's a mic that might even work, Kevin.
Excellent.
Now, where's the rest of the guys? Where's Nick and Brian and the Ganze Mishpocha there?
They're upstairs getting ready to go on air.
Oh, they're going to go up there?
Yeah.
We're coming to see you.
Well, that's great. That's the good stuff. Now, I want to ask you one thing. Because, now, you'll notice, I'm not some novice with you guys, okay? I mean, just because I'm an old aging fag doesn't mean that... No, seriously. Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, we can't all be perfect. But when I was in Amsterdam, I bought your album because I saw you guys' videos, which these guys... How come you guys are big all over the world first, and then you're, like, marketing here? Is there that by accident, or is that, like, on purpose?
I guess it's just destiny. It just sort of happened that way.
So what do you got... Now, what's the new single going to be?
Backstreet's Back.
Well, that's going to be the single.
Yeah.
Now, is that a change? Because when you were on Much Music, I thought there was another. Now, let's see. Which ones on here are singles? I'll Never Break Your Heart. Was that a single?
That, yes.
In Europe.
That
See, I'm
was
confused. I can't handle this because I spent like most of my summer in Europe.
The U.S. album
Yeah.
is a compilation of some of the hits and is basically all the singles off of the first European album we put on the first U.S. album with a couple of new tracks. That's basically what the U.S. album is.
Right.
So the next single here in the U.S. will be Backstreet's Back, and then after that it'll either be we feel like we have 3 more possible singles off the U.S. album that we can go with. So
Unbelievable. Now, where were you guys? You said you went over to England and did the album over there?
Uh-huh.
And where else have you been?
We've been all over the world. The only place we haven't been yet is South America, but basically we've covered.
Well, you got to learn Spanish. That's why you came down here to learn Espanol. Were you in Amsterdam?
Yes, we were. Yeah, it's a great city.
And what is it that you liked Amsterdam? Huh?
Definitely.
Now did you have to keep a long leash on these guys in Amsterdam?
No, very well behaved.
See, that's what everybody wonders, because, you read the liner notes, and it's very religious upbringing and background, even, talking to a heathen bastard like me. But
we don't claim to be perfect, but
now what does that mean? You don't claim to be perfect? Are you like leaving a little door open there for some of these screaming girls
out there? We're not
out there?
trying to preach to anybody that we're perfect, because we make mistakes just like everybody else. But that's our background, that's our upbringing, that's the way our parents brought us up.
Now, what does that mean? I mean, you screw around a little on the side, or what is that? What are you trying to say? They're to make their parents proud, but still having.
Let's try not to do anything that would embarrass our families. Just try to make mom.
In other words, you don't want to emulate Frank Gifford. You don't want to.
Try to stay away from that.
No, but you guys are running around all over the world. Amsterdam, all these heathen places, Toronto. And there's all these screaming girls, 17, 18-year-old girls. And your mom is back in Orlando, right? Yes.
I took my mom to Amsterdam in the red light district. She would probably think it was the gates of hell.
Yeah. I kind of thought it was the gates of heaven myself being in Amsterdam. And I think you guys might agree based on looking at you.
When we were there, our first night there, our record company, the guy from the rep from the record company took us for a walk down the red light district, and we couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Couldn't believe it.
But Europe is different, though. Like you say, Toronto is a great city. Toronto is different from this country, too.
I think Europe is just more laid back about things. They're not as conservative on their views. I think the teenagers get responsibility at a lot younger age. I think that sex education is a lot better in Europe. and I think they give their teens more responsibility at an earlier age.
They're not immature and juvenile like we are in America.
I mean, and they travel all over Europe on the trains. I mean,
Right.
the young people are very, very mature there.
Well, you guys are really kicking ass, and I appreciate your coming down. So the other guys
Thanks
are
for
just going to
having
hang upstairs on Pong. And the concert, by the way, is yeah, you can bring them down here. Of course, everybody's after Nick. Everybody now, is he because why don't you guys get him to dye his hair like dark so he doesn't stand out so much? No, seriously, because obviously because he's the one blonde guy in the group, there's 5 guys, and he like stands out. And everybody's screaming, "There's Nick," because he's blonde. So I think if you just get him to dye the hair, you might do it. That might do the job. And it's going to be a great concert. I guarantee you that. In fact, I'm going to give away a couple of them.
Are you going to come?
I was going to come, but I thought, God, it's going to be kind of embarrassing, with all those little squiggly girls.
We have people from all ages, all walks of life.
You have lots of old fags that go to see him.
Everybody.
Lots of other fags that go to see. Is that what you said, George? You miserable stick?
Actually, I said old fags.
Old fags, like me, heathen fags. Yeah. Well, there are some fags, but what's wrong with that?
Not a thing.
Huh?
Not a thing.
There you go. I rest my case. I might actually show up now. I feel like less inhibited.
Please, I want to see what you think. So you can tell your viewers.
Okay, don't give these away.
So you can tell your viewers, your listeners tomorrow what you thought of the show.
What I thought of the show?
That's the new single.
There you go. See, you're not going to get this on Power 96 because they're not even probably playing your music. Even though this is a talk show and they're a alleged music station. Well, thanks a lot, guys. It's
Thanks
good
for
to see you.
having us. Thank
And
you so
continued good luck. And I'll show up tonight. Believe it or not. I will. I'm going to.
We'll be listening.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, there they are. Backstreet Boys. They're hotter than a pistol, guys.
Estoy estrangulando el pollo para acá.
Get me a ticket for an aeroplane. Got to get on the Wheel of Fortune game. I just got to win, spin the wheel again. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Bankrupt? What do you mean bankrupt? I don't care how much money I got to spend. Can't stand to look at that Jack again. Won't throw in the towel, still I buy your vowel. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Hey, man, what do you mean there's no effing phone? Vanna, pick me a letter. No one does it any better. I dream about you. Hey, Vanna, is that an all-over 10 or what? Vanna, I don't understand why you make $100 grand, not for me to say. Anyway, get me a ticket for an aeroplane. Gonna be on the Wheel of Fortune game. I just got to win, spin the wheel again. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Oh, Vanna, go, baby, go, all right. Hey, get out of my face, Pat. Is that a toupee? Hey, is there an L in that word? Is it lowrider? All right, lowrider. Forget the letter, man. I'll take Vanna White. You're beautiful, baby. You and me could play the home game. Got me a ticket for an aeroplane. All right. I'm on the Wheel of Fortune game. I just love that sound. I'm in the bonus round. Hey, Vanna, pick me a letter. Lose a turn. Hey, Pat, lose this. Vanna, pick me a letter. No one does it any better. I dream about you. All right, that is an all-over 10. Vanna, I don't mean to stare, but are you wearing underwear? Not for me to say. Anyway, I don't care how much money I got to spend. Can't stand to look at that Jack again. Won't throw in the towel, still I buy your vowel. Oh, Vanna, pick me a letter. Please, Vanna, pick me a letter. All right, I'm ready to pick, baby. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That should cover it, huh? All right, I'll take the sofa, the blender, the microwave, the refrigerator. Hey, man, what do you mean $500 for a black and white 5-inch portable TV set? You got ripped off, man. My brother-in-law can get it for you wholesale. Give me the money and I'll buy the TV set, man, all right? Hey, man, come on, baby.
The Neil Rogers Show, now on 560 WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
I can't believe what just happened. Did you hear that? Did you hear the way that music was fading and the ID still played over it, George? Not that I want to get the audience involved in technical, I can't believe that works that way.
It's set up to do that, yeah.
It is?
It's great.
Oh, my
And everybody thinks
God.
it's an obsolete machine.
What? The DCS?
Yes, they're going audio vault everywhere.
I got news for you. The Audio Vault is a piece of compared to anything. The Audio Vault is for commercials. It's fine.
Right.
It's okay. Not great. In fact, even this is a lot of places use this for spot. Remember we used to have all the spots from the
right.
coast in
But
the hot in
apparently
there.
that's where the problem arises. It doesn't interface well with the traffic computer system. They were having problems over there at Hot 105 with the DCS.
Well, like I said, let the commercial people deal with the audio vault, which is a piece of garbage, and we'll take our DCS here. Thank you very much. I'm just blown away.
It's great.
By the way that just, I hit it like a second early and thought, well, maybe it'll chop the other thing off, but who cares? And it just, the music faded out there, and nobody in the audience really cares about this, because on QAM they used to that kind of sound from our cart machine number 5, which, by the way, if this company had any self-respect, which they don't, they would get rid of that thing now. They would blow it up right on the air. We'd have a party. That's my goal, seriously. This year number 1 with this godforsaken company, that's my goal, is to embarrass them. Because you know those studios upstairs on the second floor. I mean, even Yoshki will never live long enough to see those. Did I say upstairs on the second floor? On the 8th floor, whatever the hell it is. But the bottom line is at least put something in there so when somebody's commercials are playing on the air, somebody can understand what it is. So at least we pretend that we care about doing something for their $100 or $200 or $5,000 or whatever we're soaking out of them on that particular day. Now that we had a good book, they're $10,000. God. No shame whatsoever. These people are astonishing. And I'll give you another, this is a great one. I was halfway kidding with George when I came in this morning. I said, I'm kind of curious as to what day is going to be payday this week. Now, George is on direct deposit, which I am not. And I don't want to be on direct deposit for reasons which, I got my company and I write myself a check. It's a little more complicated. I want to have it in my hand and the check too. And I said, what day do you think? About a beat, and then Phyllis came down here, our fine office manager. If you don't want to mess around with Phyllis. And at any rate, she came down. I said, anybody know what day is going to be payday this week when we're getting our checks? And she said, well, let's see. The moon is in Uranus, and the cow is on the backyard fence, and, and the 10th and the 25th are technically supposed to be the paydays here at Beasley Reed Broadcasting. And I will say that they have been very early with the paychecks. Now, some of the other checks are a little on the slow side, but the paychecks have actually come early. But it's kind of like at their whim. In other words, whenever we got a few bucks in the bank, let's give them the check now and make sure it clears today. So like the 25th should be payday, but the 25th is Sunday. So any place that I've ever worked in my life, when the payday is on a weekend day, you always get your check the day before the weekend, which this case would be Friday the 23rd. Payday should be on Friday, but then here's the best part. Phyllis says, well, if the date comes on Saturday, then they pay on Friday, but if it lands on Sunday, then they do it on Monday, which is a way of pushing it back just one more day. Can we postpone just one more day? We're going out and taking a collection on the corner here on Ives Dairy Road. So anyway, the Backstreet Boys, I guess the other 3 were upstairs. Brian and Nick and Howie are upstairs with the old man. I mean, if they think I'm old, wait till they see the guy with the aluminum walker up there at Power 96. Kid Curry, my ass. Pops Curry, how you doing, Pops? Weren't you impressed by the fact they walked in here, those two, and I knew which the names and the whole deal? They got pretty exciting, I think.
You're very hip
for an old fag like me. No, they were good guys, and they're not. I was a little bit, nervous about that because I didn't want to do a whole bunch of, you read the liner notes in the albums, and it's Jesus and God and this and Jesus, and all I think they were saying, like they were talking about Amsterdam, is good God. That was good. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Our first call of the morning. Happy Wednesday to you, sir.
Happy Wednesday. Happy Humper Day.
Yes, sir.
The Cuba thing.
Yes, sir.
Have you noticed a lot of the family reunions going on the news?
Yeah.
The people that escaped Cuba on the RAF, and they're all going back now?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen when the Pope leaves and Castro decides not to let all of these people back out?
I think they'll be fed fairly well. Those Cuban prisons, great 3 squares a day.
Yeah, I mean, you see all of these people, and they're all going over there and meeting their family, and, it's a, hi, how you doing, and I can't wait to get back to America. I don't think you're going to let them all out.
This whole episode epitomizes the insanity of the human race as we watch all of these people carrying on and getting all emotional and swept up in this garbage, and I got CNN on here waiting for the moment when His Majesty, His Holiness, His senility, Il Papa, La Papa, La Papa, La Popa,
Mama La Papa,
when he arrives there, as if this is going to change something. And, of course, it is absolutely not. And then we had the guy yesterday. People bend over backward to show respect, and I have no idea why, because these people are the cancer of the universe, these so-called religious leaders, and the Pope especially, preaching this anti-human, this hateful crap, which the Vatican has been doing since its inception, with all these crazy popes through the centuries. And, he's the Pope, we can't say these things. Well, guess what? I am.
Yep. Well, you're the only one who speaks the truth.
Exactly, my child.
And in closing?
Yes, sir.
Phil, you're a cruise line douchebag.
And dump this. Have a great day. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I heard you're giving away the basketball tickets.
Yeah.
Can I have them?
It all
Excellent
depends.
job sucking around.
Yeah, you didn't suck around too good. I mean, it was just so you came right out and just blurted it, you know. How old are you?
I'm 16.
16? Aren't you in school today?
We have exams.
Oh, you have exams, so you're not in school.
Nope.
Where do you live?
Fort Lauderdale.
And you're going to drive, well, we're not really that far. You're going to drive down here and pick them up?
I guess so.
You got him, George? And you're going to go. Now, I'm not going to, put this down and have you talk to George, and then you're going to leave these tickets sitting here, right?
Right.
You're going to take them.
What seats are they?
Okay, she's gone. Oh, that was the best. 22 years it took me to get to that point, and we finally hit the jackpot.
Oh!
Like Faye Dunaway said, we hit the goddamn mother load. Isn't that what she said? Oh, my God, that was
She was
perfect.
even better than that freeloading lady.
She wasn't even in the same ballpark with this broad. 16 years old. What seats are they? Are the best seats in the house?
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, they're right in Nick's lap. Honey, is that close enough, honey? Lap this. I cannot believe my ears, man. I thought that after all this time, nothing would shock me, but that was the best. She sounded like she was squealing, like she was on the verge of a major accident. The backdoor boy. She's like on the way to San Jose. And, well, what seats are they? Well, I guess you don't have any seats is what you don't have. Well, there's a good seminar for all you people out there. Anytime that we have something to give away, which isn't too often, you want to talk yourself out of it. That's a perfect way to do it. Well, don't you have something better than that? That CD you gave me is pretty crappy. Can I exchange it for something else? Oh, God. Honey, you made my day and my week. I thought this was going to be a desperate day, but no matter what happens from now till 2 o'clock, that just made my day in my life. I don't know which I enjoyed more, seeing AJ and Kevin in here this morning. Where the hell was Nick and Brian and Howie, for Christ's sakes?
I think they tipped off about
Yeah, they took Nick and Howie upstairs. They took the best-looking guys up there. That's all right. That's okay. I'll get to meet them at the concert tonight. The guy said, come and see me at 6 o'clock. Come backstage and we'll do a little number back there. I don't know what number he was thinking about. I know which one I was thinking.
Song and dance.
What?
Soft shoe.
I think it was the number that comes after 68.
I killed Nicole.
I'll take
that
it.
OJ thing was in yesterday's.
Oh, it was in yesterday's paper? Dan La Bastard? Yeah, well, Phyllis would know because she loves OJ. She's got pictures all over the wall. Oh, Phyllis, what are we going to do with you, sweetheart? How about lobotomy for starters? But anyway, yeah, I know. I'm not going to get started. I need to be suspended for 2 weeks. So where's the paper? What are you laughing about? Oh, you do have the paper. Yeah, I know that whole story, Phyllis. You're not fooling me about Hank. Yeah, you want to hear the real story about Hank? What do you mean it's not in there? No, here it is. It's right here. What is wrong with you, man? I think the Pope's trip to Cuba is putting too much pressure on your brain.
Well, then she brought us down. Is that yesterday's?
This is Tuesday. This is yesterday's. That's what she brought you, okay? But this is it. Thank you, Phyllis, even though you are screwed up. Where's the story? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Simpson seems more famous than infamous. Dan La Bastard. With a picture, and here's OJ got that smile on his puss like he knows, what time of day it is, and a club in his hand. Yeah, he's used to having a big club in his hand. Like him or not, Simpson can hypnotize you when he talks. He says, look, I've been in a bathroom alone with Fred Goldman. He thinks I murdered his son. Maybe if I was in his shoes, I'd say the same things he said about me. He's been in a bathroom alone with Fred Goldman? What the hell does that mean? What the hell were they doing in there?
Squirt.
Ah, there you go. Now the real story's coming out. Dan La Bastard sucking around. There's so many suckholes. What did I tell you? I told you months ago, I'm so tired of suckholes. I'm tired of ass kissers, man. The guy is a cold-blooded murderer who was a big piece of crap before that, who was nothing but a dumb ex-jock. But when you're dealing with these guys who write these jock columns, man, they're in such, I started out the show this morning, which there was no comment about, of course, as usual, about all these goddamn guys being arrested again, Mosley of the Dolphins, and of course, Weber of, Chris Weber of the Wizards, which their other name wasn't good enough for him, so now all of a sudden they're the Wizards. And Sean Burke's got to pay for beating up his wife, and we got Jose Canseco for the 400th time who beat up his first wife and has now beat up his second wife, and on it goes. And those of you who have got this mindless admiration for these idiotic jocks, for these overpaid morons, it makes me puke, including Dan La Bastard. Thank you very much, sir, for bringing that to my attention so we once again can point out to the public that the Herald is a piece of garbage.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so I'm reading, during the last break, I read this entire column, and I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't waste the time, number one, nor would I dignify this miserable idiot by reading this Dan La Bastard column from yesterday's Herald. I wouldn't do it for all the money in the world. But I'm just going to tell you something. If you're one of those people that feels uncomfortable, if you want to puke but you don't want to stick your finger down your throat, just read this, and I guarantee you will be heaving for hours. Oh, my God. It's like the Princess Di. Instead of sticking her finger down there, she could have used this, just kept reading it every day, and she would have accomplished the same thing.
I have never read such swill, such obfuscation of the obvious of the facts as this piece of dreck as they try to humanize the subhuman piece of garbage called O.J. Dan LeBastard, you gotta hang your head in shame, man. I just can't wait for the letters to start pouring into the Herald about that piece of turd, huh? And if you haven't written one, even if you didn't read it, write him a letter anyway. Tell me he's an asshole. Dan LeBastard at the Herald. What a bunch of garbage. Yeah, he sure is, good con artist, yeah.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of the 105th Congress, distinguished guests, my fellow Americans, I have an incomprehensibly large tool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So what if he did bang Paula Jones? Or what if he did bang Jennifer Flowers? Don't you remember when he was on with, who was he on with that, before he got elected the first time? Was it on 60 Minutes? And he and Hillary came on and they did the interview, and yes, they'd had these marital problems, and he was screwing around and bada bing and bada boom and whatever was going on. And he still got elected. Nobody cares. He still survived the election.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
He didn't bang Paula. He just pulled it out.
How do you know that? Are you watching this thing? They have and they're saying he pulled it out. Mike McCurry, White House spokesman Mike McCurry, just came on in front of the whole press corps and said he didn't bang her, but he pulled it out. How do you like that? And I'm going to tell you something. Anybody that would even think sexual thoughts with that bitch in the same building, she is, if I were so inclined, which I'm not, no matter what she looked like, but I got news for you. There are few living beings of any kind, even amoebas would go in the opposite direction if they saw Paula Jones. She is one of the most meest looking people. Even Ed Meese looked better than her, okay? That's how bad she looks. Oh my God, she is so grotesque. Seriously, I have seen penises that look better than her nose.
Although very similar.
And much more appealing, yes.
President Clinton is about to address the nation in a rare evening news conference. The White House is anticipating questions about Whitewater.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I got a question.
Yes, sir, in the back.
I don't know if it's relevant, but I got another underwear question.
I think it is highly relevant.
Oh, well, cool. Well, could you show us your underwear?
Could I do it? Yes, I could.
Oh, those are great! Glow-in-the-dark Bullwinkles. Has Janet Reno seen those?
I have asked Janet Reno to look at it.
That's great. Hey, well, thanks for the show.
Thank you for asking.
This is CNN.
Rockwood can't keep his pecker in his pants.
Can't believe this Paula Jones said I wanted to jump her gone, even though I like Hillary. There's things I like she won't do for me. So how come Paula's blowing the whistle, son? She wouldn't do that in 91. I wish she dropped the charges like I dropped my drawers that fateful night. Here we go. Paula Jones and me, causing quite a controversy. You know we got her hired to work for the state. I tried to get her to work real late. Paula Jones and me, trying to get $700,000 from me. And I think it's a really strange irony, because now she's trying to bring me to my knees.
So anybody else taking up an office pool as to which day Al Gore becomes presidente? Which day do you think? 5 days, 10 days? Let's do that. Better than betting on the Super Bowl. Oh, here's Bernadette, whom I did not see last night.
Hi, Neil.
Before I say anything about Woody Graber and what an asshole he is. Yes, sweetheart. Were you there?
It was wonderful. It was pouring rain.
It was wonderful?
Yep.
You must be off your rocker.
They were crazy. It was fun seeing them all jump up and down and go crazy over a couple of boys. But Nick is cute.
Where were you sitting?
About 10 rows back on the left-hand side of the stage.
10
it was
rows
great.
Wait a minute. 10 rows back from what? From the front, from the stage?
Stage.
You were 10 rows back from the stage?
It was awesome.
So no wonder you thought it was great. You didn't get soaked.
No.
Oh my God.
No, we were underneath the pavilion. It was awesome.
You know something? I'm not a violent person, but I'm gonna go out here on 441, get a lot of gun shops. I'm gonna buy some kind of a weapon right now.
No.
And I'm Woody Graber, you better run for your life, sweetheart, because it's all over.
No,
we were sitting behind the sound pit. You know where that is? in the box right behind the sound pit where all the sound equipment is?
Yeah?
Like about 400 rows behind you, like about a half a mile away?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And, of course, when you're sitting back there...
I was looking for you.
When you're sitting back there, when a wind gets, which was like the whole 2 hours, is blowing all the rain in, and, of course, it's coming on everybody. And then also because it's slanted, the back section is slanted downward, the rain that's coming in now starts forming a lake that runs and stops right at our feet there. It was like sitting in Canandaigua Lake. I thought I was back home again.
Oh, no, we didn't get wet
It is
at all.
you didn't get wet at all. Isn't that nice, Bernadette?
Thank you, Neil.
Oh,
you're wonderful.
You're so welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I wondered why I didn't see her. Because she had the good seats. Woody Graber gives me his seats. And why didn't Woody Graber or one of you very helpful people out there bother telling me yesterday we get 450 calls with directions. Oh, here's how you get to the Coral Sky Amphitheater. Nobody bothered telling me that this thing is a joke. At least take a jacket, maybe an umbrella, maybe a poncho, maybe all three of the above. This thing is as open as Kathy Willits. It's as open as Monica Lewinsky. Who? That's right, Monica. That's her moniker. The Coral Sky Amphitheater. So if they paid me $1,000 to go there again, I wouldn't even think about it. And now I'm hearing, somebody called in yesterday. Oh, I saw Aerosmith there. It was really great. The acoustics are great. Of course, there was a 45-minute warm-up show. Let me just tell you this, okay? The Backstreet Boys were at the Sky Dome in Toronto. They were at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. They performed at the biggest facilities all over the world. They come to the Coral Sky Amphitheater. Aerosmith comes to the Coral Sky Amphitheater. Doesn't it rain like 70% of the days in the year and maybe more than that in Florida? Isn't there, and especially lately with everything that's going on, a chance that you're going to get soaked? Now, all those young hysterical girls there, they didn't care because they were already wet when they came in. But believe me, soaked. Those hormones it made no difference. The ones sitting way in the back, Pneumonia City, they don't care. And the show was great. The kids were great. They do a great job. They put on a tremendous show. The acoustics in there are great. But what kind of an effing place is that Coral Sky Amphitheater? I wouldn't take my dogs there. And I think about these assholes that go to outdoor concerts. It reminds me, the last playoff game that really sticks in my mind that I went to was the Dolphin San Diego game a few years ago, when it poured cats and dogs the entire game. And the third quarter, somebody finally passes me back about a $2 poncho. And, of course, I'm sitting there, and at that point, I just gave up. I figured Pneumonia City, and I never even got a scratch in my throat for some miracle, just like today. I have no idea how I didn't even get a scratch in my throat either. Because the wind is just blowing all of this rain in there, like all over your head. Now the lake is forming at your feet. And after they did the last song before the encore, I said, okay, let's get out of here. And we make a run for it. Got about halfway toward the back, because from Woody seats, you can't go out the front way. Oh, no, you can't get through there. You got to go all the way to the back and around all the seating to the parking lot out there in the middle of the pasture. It's like going to the Buffalo Raceway, the Hamburg Fair in Hamburg, New York. It's a cow pasture, which there's nothing wrong with the county fair. I mean, that's fine. Everybody likes pigs and chickens, and there were plenty of pigs there. I would say there was like 90% teenage girls there. There was about 5% guys, and then there was a few queens. And so when finally there's this 15-minute intermission between these waste-of-time 45-minute warm-up acts and when the Backstreet Boys come out, so now I figured, well, I got to go take a leak. This is a great time. So I go back there, and I'm walking out, and, of course, now the rain is coming. And I get to the back of the thing, and I start walking away, and I hear I just can't wait to see those 5 beautiful boys. Some queen, some screamer back there. Some screaming queen. And at that point, I wish I would have had like a poncho just to put over my head in shame. Like, what is this faggot doing here, okay? I mean, butch up just a little bit, sweetheart. Oh, I just can't wait to see those 5 beautiful boys. And by the way, Nick won't be 18 for 3 more days, okay? So put it away, sweetie.
It's the 1 to 2 hour. Hi, thanks.
Looking at heaven sometimes. Ooh, working late in the conference. Someone over there, he's ugly, downstairs. Invited to his hotel room. Goodbye, bye, bye, blue. She wants you to play touches, maybe take a seat. You seem to move real quick, without even a lick. You are the deep and down, all the Jones lives in Little Rock. You were right to touch bills, you know it right for the star. You can soon testify, tell the whole world you were wrong. Ooh, she's the girl who has seen the presidential song.
Okay, here now. Don't start eating before we at least get on the air. Al Goldstein is here, Mr. Porno.
Listen, if I eat, I can't have sex with the radio because once I eat,
Nick, we can't hear you. Tilt that thing up. And the mic
up close.
Don't eat it. He's going to eat the goddamn microphone now.
I'm going to deep throat it.
At least put some. At least put some pasta sauce on there first.
Yes, I have an apartment
Jeff
in
Cohen is here from Pizza Loft, by the way, who wants your business.
Looks
Yes, go ahead.
beautiful. Apartment in Amsterdam.
Now you're popping your piece. Can you would think with your experience you'd be able to work something phallic like that a little bit better, will you?
George is confusing me with his signals.
Oh, look, it's drifting.
Okay, can you hear me? I'm up.
You're okay. You're okay.
Okay. For apartment in Amsterdam, which I love. I'll be there February 9th.
What are you doing, Sam? No, look what he just did. What are you doing here, mister? Get out of here. Put that thing back, and he's potking with our microphone. No, you don't want that down.
When it's up and hard.
Oh, my God.
I agree with everything you said about Clinton.
Here, let me get up and handle this thing. Here, let me turn this. Shut up a minute. Here, give that to me. Here, please. I'm begging you, just quickly. Here, just slide it in. Anybody knows how to slide it in here? Okay.
Can you hear me? I want to tell you, I live with Rose, my fiance.
No, you got to.
Okay, can you hear me now?
God, you're like the guy with the bagpipes, for Christ's sake.
Can you hear me, George? Come on, what is this? Is this a light bulb?
I had the Backstreet Goyim on here, two of them yesterday, and you couldn't hear them either. This is the kind of crap equipment they give us to work with. I got an important high-paid Jew, a pornographic guest.
That's right, Radio Shack, $9.95.
Exactly. See, if you tilt like even to the side, which for you it should be easy.
Am I
stay like motionless? Should be easy.
Like a Jew having
like
sex.
a rock, like a big rock.
Is this good? Can you hear
like
me?
a Jewish woman having sex, motionless, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Jewish women, I put aftershave lotion on and showered when I came here. She wants to know if you and I are doing it. I said, no, you like your men younger, and you don't like a man who's really well hung like me. Rose said that.
You're gonna be hung.
Yeah.
You got
wish
married?
you had me. I didn't get married. I'm 0 for 4.
You didn't until I taught you.
I lived with her and loved her.
You didn't even know who Peter North was until I had to instruct you. Okay.
Wait. I got an award, Lifetime Achievement. This is for you. All the categories: gay, straight, bi. Oh, it's wonderful.
Let me interrupt you on something. Do you know, I was reading because I'm trying to think of something good to say about you besides you eat a lot. No, it is not hard at all. But I was reading one of the 8 million books I read on the planes. I wish the hell I could remember which one it was. And it was about the media and gays. And it was about in the early Stonewall days and about how you and Screw Magazine were the first ones that came out. And how about that?
Issue 1, I had the first gay.
So Al may put a lot in Screw Magazine, a lot of homophobic stuff in there, but he really loves faggots.
I'm bisexual. I've done a few guys. I don't mind it.
Not Peter North.
No.
Oh, my God.
Who could handle that? It's too big. Look at those categories. First of all, I got a lifetime achievement for, like you, First Amendment.
Plus, you'd have to, just everybody has to scatter several yards away.
It's true.
With Peter North.
It is true. Get
out the lifeboat, sweetheart.
I know you're really hot for Ron Jeremy and Randy West.
Oh, man. Right in the middle of my lunch. This must be the new Al Goldstein diet. To lose your appetite in the middle of the meal, to start bringing up the schmutziest, the most disgusting. Ron Jeremy.
He's my dear friend, but he's a Jew.
Jews
are ugly and hairy. Jews
are mostly ugly and hairy, except for Robbie Benson, right?
True. That's why they have to do their secretaries and give hookers money. We always pay our women.
And what timing, too? What about Clinton with all these ugly bitches that he's doing?
Isn't that so right about that? I would rather Clinton was doing the Pope.
Right. At least that would be interesting. Probably the Pope wishes it, too.
I'm not so sure.
Because he looks like he's very close to the end, if you know what I'm saying.
But I want you to keep that book, because it's all the categories. And best costume in a porno film. It's amazing. And I got an award for the Lifetime Achievement for my 19 arrests. I've been fighting this battle. You have for a long time. But it's a
So how come they made a movie about Larry Flint and they haven't made a movie about you yet?
Because I can walk.
Oh, is that
I
it?
wasn't shot.
Well, I've got news for you. In about another week, I would say you'll solve that problem. This meal might get the movie made.
I hope
this
so.
could do it.
You know, I know you're a cigar smoker. Now, because you are a homosexual Jew.
A Jew fag, yeah.
Atheist. I'm not going to give you this one to carry your cigar, and I'm giving you this one.
Isn't that beautiful?
You know,
well, I hope it's circumcised.
Yes, it is. And because you talked about the operations. You know, sometimes you have to go to a restaurant or someplace, and when you put your cigar out, it's a nice cigar.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. It's got a spring in it and the whole deal. It's a cigar holder, penis shaped. Well, not really penis shaped, penis colored. Circumcised and penis colored. Although I've never seen a penis quite that color. I've seen many of them, but not quite that color. This one's almost like Technicolor. Maybe this is what Jim's penis looks like that Randy was always talking about. I think she's
that one's straight.
Yeah, this one is straight. His is curved like
no veins. You see, my art department, this woman Donna paints this on. I mean, these you can't buy. Hand painted.
If I could tell you what that, are you hearing him okay in there?
No.
George, what do you want me to do?
No,
I'm going to talk to you during the break.
It's not your, this microphone is the biggest piece of crap, and I told you yesterday I got Kevin from the Backstreet Boys and AJ. I mean, forget about A, he's off to the side. You can't hear them, and you wonder why the hell we're going off the air on this place.
Okay,
They got equipment that I wouldn't wish.
George, buy a microphone. George, where's George? George, buy a microphone. Come on. Run to Radio Shack.
So I had these guys on the show, these kids yesterday, who are hotter than a pistol. You probably never heard of them. You're too old.
I heard the kids calling in for free tickets.
But so in the liner notes on their CD, in fact, we got it here somewhere. It's Jesus this, and I want to thank the Lord. But anyway, so what are they talking about yesterday? Because they've been the last year touring the world, and about how great Europe is, and how there's so much light years ahead, and so much more enlightened, and they have so much better sex education, and the kids are so much more broad-minded, and how much they love Amsterdam, and what a trip to Red Light District was. It goes to show you take these repressed American goyim like that, and you let them go around the world and see what the real world is all about. It's a miracle.
Well, as I told you, I took an apartment.
God, I wish I could hear you.
Okay. What should I do?
No, you just keep talking.
You want me to sit in your lap?
Oh, jeez. I'm not ready for suicide yet.
No, but Amsterdam, I'm at a coffee shop. I'm having reefer for $2, Moroccan hash, smoking Cuban cigars, and there's sex action 2 blocks away. And and you know that's a society that runs beautifully. The trams are on time.
Right.
Everything works. The herring in May is wonderful.
There's not even long lines at McDonald's.
Nothing. And then I'm thinking, and we think we're free in America. I love it that they're merchants. If it moves, they'll sell it. So you're welcome to my apartment.
It's in the red light district?
It's in the red light district, which I know you'll hate being in. It's the hustling hot area. That's where I want to be. I signed the lease in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's 1,600 guilder. It's a bargain.
That's $800 a month.
Yeah, it's peanuts.
So in other words, it's cheap to live there. Is that what you're telling me?
No, but this place I found, it's great. Because
what is it, like a 2x4 room in a youth
very
hospital?
tiny,
Is that what it is?
one flight walk up. If you're a resident of Amsterdam.
Oh, it's very tiny, and you're going to walk up the flight?
I'll be carried by Rose.
So why don't you just bring me the key, and you'll never be able to get in there anyway?
Why don't you carry me? If you're a resident of Amsterdam, you're allowed to grow 8 joints. So I want to learn what's the word, horticulture. I want to have a green thumb. I want to grow my own grass, have Cuban cigars, and I want to ignore this American government nonsense. I hate our country because we have leaders like.
So I say when we impeach Clinton, we ought to make you president.
I'd be good.
That would be excellent.
I'd be good.
Then everybody could wear that T-shirt that says "F you, I have enough friends." I love that.
Hey, I've made this offer to you many times. Midnight Blue is on C-band. If you ever want a D-scrambler, you just call me. I'll get you one free.
Yeah, but I might accidentally come across that one.
Ron Jeremy.
But
yeah,
the one you're in. Oh.
Well, choice of 3 stations every minute. So if Ronnie's on or Randy West is on, switch to another station. I can save you $300.
I got to say this to you: the fact that Ron Jeremy has actually made money in the porno business. No, you're laughing, but you know what I'm going to say. The fact that it goes to show you the Jews are the best merchants in the universe, because the fact that anybody would pay to see him doing anything. I mean, I'd pay him to put more clothes on.
But that's the reason, because you're gay. Think of me as a straight man. I have a woman. I want some action. I want to get laid.
So straight guys want to see Ron Jeremy naked?
No,
they want to see a guy with a huge pupik?
We want our women to see Ron Jeremy so they like us.
The only thing Ron Jeremy's got going for him is he's double jointed.
Yes, and he's too fat now.
Well, what the hell was that? What the hell was that?
George, you really have to learn your trade.
Okay, let me do the break. This, so help me God, this is so unbelievable, this place. This is Beasley Broadcasting at its finest, folks. We can't even have a big 600-pound guy here who doesn't even move around, but sit down in front of a microphone. This is the equipment here I wouldn't wish on Heinrich Himmler. I wouldn't wish it on WIOD, for crying out loud. That's how bad it is.
WIOD? Oh, I hate that station.
Get the honey, Junior.
Al Goldstein, the purveyor of porn. The Jew porn man. I always mention that, by the way. Of course, not that the Goldstein wouldn't give it away, but no, you know these people are always talking about the Jews being the purveyors of pornography and being the problem with Hollywood and with TV and everything. All these virulent anti-Semites. It's a good excuse.
But the really rich ones are not Jews. Larry Flint, Hugh Hefner, Bob Guccione.
Right.
I'm like a minor luminary.
A small player.
Small potatoes, as we say.
So here's the new issue of True Magazine.
30 years. This year is our 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
I'm so we're going to have a big party in September.
Oh, so you're giving away cats in New York. It says guaranteed free pussy for you, so they must be giving away cats at Screw Magazine.
ESPCA.
And here's, now, have you ever done an Asian chick? Have you ever done Asian
They're
men?
wonderful. They're very neat.
Asian men also.
Very tiny. You know, if you go to a bordello in Bangkok or Japan, they charge a Caucasian more because we're more well hung.
So in other words, they charge you by the inch?
Yeah, so it's like 2 inches I pay for.
So you got double on me, I'll tell you that. No, I was asking that the other day about. I don't want to get too personal.
They're very tiny, and I'm tiny too.
No, but sir, I understand.
But no, I'm being tiny.
No, but you know something? If you lost 600 pounds, you'd find an extra inch or two.
Okay, in the James Bond movie, there's a great line. James Bond says that I am a cunning linguist.
Yeah.
That's what I am. I'm a cunning linguist. So women still find me attractive.
So in other words, you have a great tongue. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. I've already been
you've been surgically what?
Removed. I'm now a woman. So when I look down on a woman, I'm a lesbian. No, it's gay sex. So that's why I identify with you in the gay world. I'm homosexual. I wanted to be a feminist and I wanted to be a lesbian. And if the two Jewish wives and the Jewish fiance, I have nothing.
But you're not married. You're not going to get married.
I love her deeply, but I don't want the judges and the lawyers in it.
How like this?
Marry a Jewish lawyer? Would you marry a Jewish lawyer?
No, but are you actually having sex with this woman? I don't want to get too personal.
Yes. Every 2 months. I think tomorrow's night.
Every 2 months, like a major workout. You have to go into training for it.
I do tongue
in-cheek
aerobics. Tongue in cheek, yes.
But you're not having intercourse.
I don't believe in intercourse. I'm too fat.
I knew it. What did I tell you yesterday? I knew it.
I'm oral sex.
I feel so much better about life in general now.
No.
Well, I mean, I don't want to make it a personal thing. I'm trying to embarrass you into losing some weight. I did it once before, and you shrunk up like you looked. You looked human there for a while.
No, I'm not as large as.
I mean, we saw. Thank God, we at least got the Pope to pick on. Now we saw him yesterday. The death watch is on big time, and by the second. Yeah. By the second, he's not looking too good.
And he's thin too.
Yeah.
He has a fat rear end, the Pope. I've done him.
He has rectum. He has a fat rear end, huh?
People don't say that.
Well, he'll fit right in Cuba, man, because all the Cubans have got, especially women.
Why is it they're so proud of their fat thighs? I mean, if I was fat, as some of these Spanish women with their short pants, I would cover up. I mean, if you're big and fat, at least you're smart enough not to walk around in shorts.
You did moon George before you came on the air, though. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
You know, he got a wreck. I saw a little bulge.
He had a wreck, all right. In fact, anybody that saw your moon would have a wreck.
His wife, Crystal, happens to love my moon.
Does she really? I bet it's a
cockaroon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So what are we going to do about your weight? How did you lose the weight the last time? Did you go on?
I went to North Carolina, a place called
the rice diet.
Yeah, rice then.
That's not.
And then I discovered a Biscuitville. So I went to Biscuitville. I tried to, in my mind, say,
don't you know that Jews don't eat biscuits?
They're tasty.
Yeah.
You don't like
anything is tasty.
You don't eat biscuits?
No.
What's your binge food?
Ice cream? Ben and Jerry's.
You see, Neil,
did you ever have
listen
to me.
Hubby.
No, fish food. Did you ever have Ben and Jerry's fish food?
No.
I swear to God, a pint of that will set you off on a binge the likes of which you will not. I'm telling you, it's like real super dark chocolate loaded with whipped cream and marshmallows and big chunks of chocolate. It's like Rocky Road only three times as yeah, get out of here with that. 3 times. I was just thinking that too, that fatso thing.
Okay.
See, that's the problem. Fat people like to eat. What's wrong with eating? If we could just lose the goddamn weight, we like to eat. We appreciate food.
What's that Hubby Bubby flavor?
Hubby Bubby. That's for old Jews, yeah. They sell that at Cemetery Village.
I have a friend who's a food reviewer. His name is Bill Fox. He's a big fat guy, always on the diet, but he gets fatter. I went to this place in West Palm Beach because he had an open.
Oh, I didn't like that last breath I heard there.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I was going to chew my meat.
I didn't like the last breath.
But for 2 hours, we never once talked about sex, vaginas, penises, any of that.
Yeah.
We talked only
boring.
about food.
Mm-hmm.
Boring? You would have loved it. You want to talk about sex? Food's far more interesting.
No.
More diverse.
The difference being that you can only have sex for so long.
But you can eat for a lot more.
You can eat forever.
Yeah.
Now, in your case, it sounds like you can do both.
Yeah.
All three, all depending on what you're eating, yeah.
During a meal, I can turn to a barf bag, throw up, go back to the buffet table. Sex, what can I do? Unless I use a splinter. I can't do it again. Okay, great buffet? Okay, what's your favorite buffet? Let's talk food. What the hell with you? Better than talking Pritikin. Pritikin's a fat guy.
So in other words, you don't want to lose weight, is what you're saying. You're happy being fat.
I live for food.
Even though you know you're going to kill yourself.
I'd rather die 5 years early.
You just got through telling me before you came on the air that you did the fen thing?
Yeah.
And that you've got a bad valve?
Yes.
You did it for 2 weeks and you've already got a bad valve in your heart.
Right.
Nice.
Wasn't worth it. I should have stayed fat.
Yeah.
I would have been healthier. How many people die at a buffet table? Neil, people die and break legs at gyms. Show me someone with a wrist strain at a buffet table. I know I have a friend in L.A. who takes 150 pills. I said, you're going to be jogging on the side of the road, a truck is going to run you over.
But you're not ready. You're not old enough for Sadie's buffet.
No, there's some nice buffets. Oh, what about Las Vegas? I went to the hotel you hated.
Not the Rio Suite. You went to the Rio Suite?
Yeah, because the food was good. $8.95 at lunch, 9 food stations. You gamble. I don't. The food was great. I was there for 2 hours eating. And then I had my friend Penn and Teller join us, friends, plural.
Oh, how's Alex Bennett doing, by the way?
I haven't spoken to Alex. Well, he was fired, you know.
Was he really?
He's not working, yeah.
Alex Bennett was fired? Oh, what a piece of bad news, huh? What, for lack of talent? I thought he was big out there. I thought so.
I always heard he was number one.
Yeah.
I went to my friend's bordel.
When he worked with us, I thought he was number 1 and number 2.
Well, my choice of friends.
Alex Bennett, for God's sake. Do yourself a favor, will you, pal? Oh!
Yeah. Well, I talk as highly about your friend Kane.
Yeah.
He called me three years ago, wanted to talk to me.
I would have thought by now you would have had a tummy tuck and your face redone and your eyeballs That's his whole shtick now, is
I know.
making guinea pigs, yeah.
Penile enlargement.
Penile implants,
I know.
which in your case, what's the point?
I want a hot dog enlargement. That's all I want. No, food recipes, good food, desserts. That's what it's all about. September, we're having a party in New York. I hope you'll drag your tail into New York for the 30th anniversary party.
I haven't been to New York, and I think New York is too sterile now for me.
Oh, the food's good. You go to Disney, you'll visit the Disney people on 42nd Street, then we'll show you sleeves in the meat market. We have a woman who strips with an archer. He shoots arrows and he strips her clothing off. And we're going to throw a little extra money name for her head, so we'll have entertainment value.
But New York must be boring now, though. The mayor cleaned up the whole goddamn Times Square. Who the hell wants to go to such a boring place?
You can't even jaywalk. But Il Molino's great food.
Yeah. Il Molino where? In New York or here?
No.
Here.
There's one here. No, I'm talking about the
we
one
have
in
two
New
of them
York.
here.
Yeah. The one in New York on 3rd Street. Great Italian, Casa Bella, Little Italy. You come to New York for 3 days with me, I'll fatten you up.
I have a better idea. You'll come to Rome with me.
No, let's go to Amsterdam together.
But not for food. Now, see, what are you going to...
herring.
What? Oh, Jesus, God. The food in Amsterdam is the worst. You better be in training and ready for a lot of sex, because the food there, either sex or drugs or both, because the food there... I ate, and I told us on air, I ate most of my meals at McDonald's. I was doing the Atkins.
Me too.
I threw away the buns. I would stand there. They don't even look at you. You know, like in Amsterdam, nobody cares what you're doing, or, you know... And so you throw away the bun, you're standing with a wax paper around the meat, and you just got meat in your mouth, which you do a lot in Amsterdam anyway. And that was it. That was the highlight, was eating at McDonald's, which anywhere else in the world I would never go near there. Right. But that's as good as it gets in Amsterdam.
Mediocre food,
not
Indonesian
food.
Plates, the food's boring. We would bring
And the Chinese food, man, I'm going to tell you something. Stay away unless you want grotesque hemorrhoids. I don't want to say this in the middle of a mouthful of food, although in your case it won't make any difference. But that 3.5 months I suffered until I finally got rid of hemorrhoids from eating Chinese food in Amsterdam.
6
They
days.
put enough pepper and enough spices and enough MSG. It's because they figure everybody's stoned anyway. They won't know the difference.
But I'm thrilled you love it, because it's a great country.
It is, the whole country. Have you been in other part like Utrecht or the Hague?
The Hague. I went to the Hague.
Yeah. I remember the mayor of New York. Remember Frank Hogue? He used to be the mayor of New York. And how was it? Boring?
It's boring. But a friend of mine has a dungeon there, and she put my friend in, Dennis Hopper, owns this whorehouse in Carson, Nevada. and beat him up for 2 hours. And he had 12 orgasms in 31 minutes. With something with proctology and stuff. We don't want to go into it. It's too graphic.
Rectum.
You ate the yoni.
Pornographer Supreme. Forget about the pornography. You're not into that. Eater Supreme Al Goldstein is here. And he just... What, now, did you really eat the cereal that you brought the last time?
I know. I bought another box. I was at Costco yesterday. I love it. I got the honey Cheerios. Cheerios is good for you.
So anybody out there that's on a diet, I'm sure that Al and I are really helping you accomplish your goals.
We'd like to eat with you.
Now, if you're going to offer yourself right there for this last meal, I want you to notify us when you're going to do this. We can get better publicity than the goddamn Pope.
If I die on the air.
So now let me see. Is this issue before? Is this pre the Pope?
Yeah, I didn't even do the Pope.
You didn't do the Pope?
I didn't even, I didn't think of it as real. And then I figured.
Not even the Pope of Greenwich Village?
No, but it's so boring. The politicians and the news, all they talk about is Miami and the fascist Cubans who left. At least George is a liberal, but I hate these expatriates who have left Fidel, and none of them ever defend Batista. There wouldn't have been a Fidel except for Batista, and all they want is their property back. So they ripped off everyone else. At the point of Batista, 90% of the country was illiterate.
Why would they rip Batista? They were buddies with Batista.
That's right, because he gave them things.
Partners in crime.
They are the ultimate hooers, the Cuban community. I believe that. And if they roll a cigar for me, I understand if they put a cat's tail in it, but they are gross people. They blow up museums. They're anti-freedom. And then, of course, Clinton being the pimp he is. I can't believe we're anti-Cuba. China's all right. Vietnam we had a war with, and now we have an embassy. We are a despicable country. I really, one more thing, I'm going to live in Amsterdam permanently.
But you know something now, like what happened in Copenhagen? Look at how the rest of the world is becoming more uptight and more like this country and more sanitized. The whole world is becoming sanitized.
I know.
Perverts like us are out of business.
Yeah, but no, we
So what happened in Copenhagen? Were you ever there?
I was there. I remember Tivoli Gardens. I'm
not talking about Tivoli Gardens. Long before I ever went to Copenhagen, that was the capital of pornography.
That's right.
And now it's like, forget it. Like we had enough and we're not interested. Now we go to Tivoli Gardens and we march around and it's a little boring. Talk about boring. People are very nice, but boring.
And Florida's always been the worst. Closed and worried about topless clubs and stuff. You know as well as I do, in all your years of radio, in all your years of being in front of this microphone, have you ever found the following statement not to be true? The more moralistic the person is in public, the more of a hypocrite he is in private.
Sure, and the more homophobic they are, the more likely it is that they're in the closet.
He wants to do it. Jimmy Swaggart. I know you don't like issues, but whether it was Jimmy Swaggart or Jim Baker, my first arrest in Minneola, the guy then went to jail 3 years later. What about Keating? And then, I don't know if you missed this, but 2 days ago, because of my dish, I either saw Extra or Inside Edition. There was a guy on TV 6 months ago, a cop, who would list the names of Johns who were busted. He just got busted for corruption.
Good.
Doesn't it always happen? It never fails. That's the thing I hate about Clinton. You're right, bad taste. But he wants to worry about indecency on the Internet, selling penthouse at PXs, that low life. I loathe him for his hypocrisy because I just did an editorial. He's so self-hating for his sexual excesses. He doesn't want to have any of us have any fun but him. He wants all the ugly women for himself. I really do hate him.
But you do know the day is going to come. Maybe we won't live to see it, but the day will come that somebody is going to have the balls to stand up and say what you just got through saying. It'll come eventually.
I hope
and people will say, well, wait a minute, you know something? We don't care about these things. It's all a bunch of bull crap.
It's all political claptrap. Because, again, just go to
nobody cares how much he's screwing around. Nobody really cares that. If he had enough intelligence not to be lying about it, not to be covering it up, he's going to wind up with the same thing that Nixon wound up with. You mark my words, it's going to be the same crap again.
I agree with you. My fare there with Amsterdam is, I'm sure you paid a low fare. New York to Amsterdam, KLM, $300 round-trip coach.
You fly coach?
Yeah. I tried to do upgrades.
Cargo.
Cargo. Animal rates.
You fly coach, a big shot like you.
Because
I can't. How do you fit that ass? Seriously, how do you fit that 600-pound ass into a coach seat? What do? You get 3 seats, one for your wife?
No, I say it's emergency row. I haven't done it yet. I did fly other airlines first class. This is the first time I'm doing coach. And I don't want to cash my mileage.
Guaranteed, you're going in cargo. Guaranteed. There is no way. They'll stick your ass on that meat scale that they got there where you got to put your luggage on.
The following is only not apocryphal but real. Tomorrow I'm flying to L.A. I'm going to be on Friends, on March 12th episode. There's some scene involving pornography, and they're going to have me on camera.
Really?
March 12th.
But not naked.
Not naked.
Oh, thank God.
No, the screen isn't big enough to show my huge male member. So I want to ask you about this work relief program you have for Puerto Ricans and Cubans. Rodriguez, when is this time up and then you hire the next Spanish person? George has got a 3-year employment contract.
If his time is up, the next one's going to look a lot better than that.
Why do you hire someone you can't bag? I mean, do you do them? Do you grease them up?
I am not the least bit interested.
Why is that?
I think you've got a good point.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you hire somebody you can do?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I only hire people I want to have sex with. But one quick question before you go into your commercial.
Spiel.
I bought, on my birthday, I paid for, as usual, George's meal and his wife's meal.
Now, where was this?
A place called Hops. Good steak for $12. But here's my question.
House of Pancakes?
No, Hops it's called. My question is this meal I have, does this count as equal? I mean,
No.
was he reciprocated or have you reciprocated?
I was going to take you out tonight, but you're going to the track, so
I am going to the
escaped
track.
again.
Yeah, you escaped again.
Are you searching for a new sensation in dining? If you're tired of that same old bump and grind, then why not revisit an old friend and eat at the Y? That's right, folks, because here at the Y, we've turned our old facilities into a mouth-watering buffet. And you've never seen a spread like this one, featuring some of the most delicious entrees you've ever tasted. And if you like eating Mexican, you'll love the Y because every night is taco night. Or if you enjoy the taste of wild game, our chefs prepare a lip-smacking sautéed rabbit baked in a golden flour crust. That's right, pear pie. It's all here. Literally mounds of piping hot food, including juicy steaks cooked medium rare. Because when you eat at the Y, all the meat is pink in the middle. Or if you like spicy food, here's an unusual entree, a red-hot Cajun mule steak. Talk about a piece of ass that brings tears to your eyes. It's lip-smacking goodness you won't want to miss. So the next time you eat out, slide on down to the Y.
Located just north of Hershey Highway off the number 1 exit.
Eat at the Y.
That's a good point. So you think you're good at oral sex with a woman, but you really aren't sure because you have no idea what it's like.
That's right. I try to.
But I thought you were having the operation. I thought you were like on the way to being one since you can't find your penis.
But it's not complete yet.
Yeah.
I'm still on different hormones.
It's just slightly inverted at this point.
It is, and actually it's bigger than George's.
I mean, I've heard of an ingrown toenail. Now maybe in size.
But if it's really ingrown, I could do myself. No, but every woman I've interviewed, I don't want to get raunchy because I know you're giving up porno films.
Yeah, and plus the dump is off too, so don't.
Oh, not be regular. But every porno actress, and I interviewed them for Midnight Blue, my show of 22 years. I always ask them who is better at cunnilingus, a man or a woman. Everyone, never been an exception. Every woman has said a woman. It's no surprise. And I'm always amazed that if my woman was with another woman, I'd find it a turn on. Would find it a turn on. But if I said, hey, maybe do you want to see me with a man? She'd say, oh, no, you're a faggot. So we really accept bisexuality in women. We love it as men. But women don't like their men being gay. Because maybe, I don't know. I mean, what's your thing?
They don't?
The women I know.
No, they don't.
Said, no.
That's yucky.
Well, there must be a lot of unhappy women married to Cuban guys.
Well, they're the worst, right? Because Cuban men are very highly
Cuban
bisexual.
men and Italian men are almost all of them bisexual, and of course, the more they deny it. Now, Italian men won't deny it; they won't talk about it.
Yeah, right.
But Cuban men will deny it vehemently, and the more they deny it, the more that means they are.
Well, if you look in the pages of Screw, where you'll see all those transvestites, and we call them chicks with dash, pre-ops, 98% of them are Spanish. Either Puerto Rican or Cuban. So there must be a real...
Well, that's real big in Sao Paulo and Rio,
Real.
right? In fact, they say that's where the men are men and so are the women.
That's funny. It's true, though. I have seen... Wednesday is advertising day at my office in New York City, and I see these extraordinarily beautiful women, and then they turn around and they're guys. So I can't tell gender anymore. And when I was young, to me, a gay guy was effeminate. He walked his dog, Now a gay guy is somebody who's...
Only gay guys walk their dogs?
Well, but that was...
Must be a lot of fags in my neighborhood. I see all these people, all these married guys walking their dogs. That's the telltale sign. And guess what? I don't walk my dog. How do you like that?
But okay, this was my theory in the 1950s. But now, a guy can be a quarterback, a football player. All the stereotyping I've ever done on gay or straight has dissipated. And I don't care how many hockey games you watch, how many times you see The Godfather. I mean, it doesn't make you macho. You have the accoutrements of a macho guy.
What is macho?
Macho is a guy who's a sports fan. I hate sports, and I hate sports fans.
This is good that you got into this, because on this radio station, being sports 20 hours ponderous, they really believe, and there are times you'll hear some of these guys almost come right out and say it. They believe that unless you're a real, I'm not talking about just a hockey fan like I am, and I used to like other sports, but they become boring. But unless you live and breathe sports and love to gamble on it too, that you're a faggot. That basically you're a real pansy. That you're not a real man unless sports is your entire life.
I feel that all the people who listen to this station, all these fans yelling and saying, we won, we won. I think of T.S. Eliot's the hollow men, the empty men. Get a life. We didn't win. It's like looking at Ron Jeremy in a film having sex saying, we got laid. No, you didn't get laid. Ron Jeremy got laid. It's vicarious.
And wasn't it grotesque?
Yeah, it's like watching me at a buffet. We ate? No, I ate, you moron. You saw me eating. I mean, this vicarious thing.
That would be, I just gave you the next best idea for Screw Magazine. Maybe you already did it, but I doubt it, is to out all the gay athletes.
I mean, it hasn't been done.
Of course not. I mean, they hint around the edges, Troy Aikman, Steve Young.
Right.
There's like hundreds, thousands. I say that most of them, 98%, just to piss the people off.
I believe that. You just look at football. The guy's bent over.
He's got his hands out of the other guy's crotch.
It's an anal sex kind of thing. Double penetration.
I've been asking for years.
We have a delay back, by the way.
Well, we don't care. Well, now you can say crap. Don't say it anyway. You can take one, but don't say it. But I've been saying for years that the sports is the only endeavor in American life where a young guy go up and pat another guy on the butt, right on the ass.
That's right. Kiss.
Yeah.
They kiss a lot.
And after they win a big
hug,
game,
hug and kiss.
But pat a guy on the ass.
Yeah.
Now, if a lawyer wins a big case, when they won the O.J. trial, did Johnny Cochran go up and pat F. Bailey on his big fat ass? Of course not.
But O.J., he grabbed his.
He grabbed his. Well, he liked it, I think. I think there's something going on there.
Yeah, no.
But what is that? What is that thing in sports where there's this tremendous, feely, touchy, and these people don't want to think. As long as they don't think about it, or you don't force them to think about it, then they're comfortable. It doesn't bother them. But as soon as they start thinking, well, I don't know, what is that? Then they become very nervous.
2 a.m., before and after, before 10, and after 2, you're all a bunch of faggots. Basically, that's what
I've told them.
Yeah, it's true, though.
That's what I've told them. People are into jockstraps. People that want to watch a bunch of guys go out and grab at each other.
You're naked. You're taking showers. That's a gay club, you moron. You're in a fan club. You're looking for glory holes.
That's
it. They just admit it.
The Miami Dolphin bathhouse.
Yeah, it's the advocate is the advertiser. Cut it out. You're faggots. You're homosexuals. You're effeminate. I mean, Neil and I are, maybe we've had a few dalliances, but we are real men. You are faggots.
Amen.
I have just tasted your snapper.
Rectum. Well, we were out on our first date after eating at a Mexican cafe. While we were driving in my car, she let one go that almost blew us both away. I asked her, did you cut the cheese? Then she turned around to look at me and said, girls don't fart. Girls don't fart. She kept on telling me that girls don't fart, but I do. The odor permeated through my clothes and in my hair, and so I rolled the windows down so I could get some air. It smelled like something died in there. Girls don't fart. Girls don't fart. She kept on telling me that girls don't fart, but I do. I heard another deadly squirt. Then I held my nose and covered it with my shirt. I turned around to get her back. With just a matter of time before another attack. So I asked if she was okay. Then she looked at me, and all she had to say was, girls don't fart. Alright. Girls don't fart. She kept on telling me that girls don't fart, but I do. Girls don't fart. Girls don't fart. She kept on telling me that girls don't fart, but I do. But I do.
Okay.
But I do.
Okay. The reason I played that right there is George, during the previous break, was hocking me a tronic as he was pouring through these boxes of videos in here, some of these anal-oriented ones, and I said, having had hemorrhoids for 3.5 months, I'm not interested in hearing or looking or even thinking about any of these anal invasions, okay? Remember that? First there was the British invasion, and then we had the anal invasion. And then he goes into this big song and a dance about how women's rectums are so much more cleaner and pinker and more lovely and hygienic. What?
I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you can only imagine. Get out of here, you can't compare. You work in radio.
Well, I've never put a mirror down
seen
there.
More asses than Carter's got liver pills.
Well, I saw Al's yesterday. Let me tell you.
Well, you got a standard to go by. I guess you got a point now. Oh, sorry. Oh, my God, the thought of that. Right before lunchtime, too, and he's telling me about Al Goldstein's rectum. Oh, jeez. Man, oh, man, talk about heaving gigantic mounds. Anyway, Jeff Gordon, NASCAR driver, 3 days ago. How come we only get this now? This was in the paper on Tuesday, and I missed it. Must have been mighty important. In an announcement that some insiders say is not really a big surprise, NASCAR defending champion Jeff Gordon this week came out of the closet with the proclamation that he is proud to be gay. Speaking at a luncheon gathering of Atlanta hairstylist, he made the proclamation, I'm still the same person. I've always made a big effort to get really close with these guys, and that's not going to change. Yeah, I bet he has, especially that French. What's that French race car driver? You'd know it. Jacques Villeneuve, is that his name? Come on, George, you got to know
Joe
something.
knows these things.
Huh? Get out of here. He probably wants to get close to him. However, some of Gordon's competitors do not share his optimism. I figure that NASCAR fans will drop him like last week's fishing bait, says 7-time Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt. Hell, he'll probably have to go to Formula One racing to be accepted. This is a Bubba crowd. The only damn thing they want, homo, is their milk. Penske driver Rusty Wallace was a bit more to the point. I'll run over any little sumbitch that'd rather suck a schwanz than a siphon hose. How do you like that, huh? That's Rusty Wallace who said that. Maybe he's kin to George Wallace. And then I got this fax from Mike. Now, can you think this is for real? I'm not going to read his last name on here because I'm too embarrassed for it, although in Italian it means stench. But at any rate, he says, what can I do with you? Why do you continue to bash the Catholic religion and the Pope? You say you bash all religions, but I never hear you talk about any others. Do you fear what you don't understand? I never talk about any others, like I wasn't talking about the silly Hasidim when Lily Brecker called just the other day, and about how they were rocking back and forth there at the Wailing Wall, and we were talking about the Seventh-day Adventists and the Jehovah's Witnesses.
We're talking about Catholics because it's in the news.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that we had a Seventh-day Adventist just go to see Fidel, or we had Jaime Schwartzman go there from Israel or somewhere. We had the Pope, goddammit, he's there. That's why I'm talking about it, you idiot. Why bash the church for a few priests who have done wrong? Oh, give me a break, a few priests who have done wrong. You are so brainwashed, my Catholic friend out there. I feel badly for you. I feel bad that your brain has been so closed and so rotted by years and years of brainwashing and conditioning. It's time to get yourself a new conditioner, like Prel would be good. He says, remember, they are human. Okay, human we can deal with. It's just like El Presidente. We don't mind human. Hypocrites and liars, those are the ones that, of course, then the ones who are always finger-pointing. Oh, this is sinful, even though we're doing it, and God only knows how many altar boys. Should every president, past and future, be considered bad because of a few bad ones? How can you judge an entire entity on a few bad people? Look at the whole picture. How are you spelling whole, Mike? As in rectum. And Mike's, by the way, doesn't have the name of any straight priest in here. Not one. We're still waiting for the name of one straight priest. He says the Pope is the leader of the church. The church Jesus Christ started 2,000 years ago. And again, you're wrong, Mike. Jesus Christ didn't start any church, okay?
He already belonged to one. He was very happy with
it. He was a Jew. He was a Jew boy, okay? His buddy Paul, Saul, whatever you called him this week. Alan Saul, I think, from Pompano Beach. He started it. He says, all I ask is for a little compassion, a little Rachmanis, I think is the word he's looking for. I love your show. You're very intelligent and entertaining. But when you continue to talk like you do about the Catholic religion, I have a tough time listening. Please give it some thought. God bless. God bless. As in,
Neil, God.
Get out of here, Mike, with this dribble, with this nonsense. And isn't it interesting how he says when you talk about the Catholic religion, he has a tough time listening. When we talk about the Mormons, he's loving it. He's, yeah, right on, that Joseph Smith. What an asshole.
All religions are wrong except yours.
Yeah, right.
By definition.
Exactly, of course. That's what makes it so ridiculous on the puss of it, Mike, because they're all man-made bullcrap. Mine is bigger than yours is. Mine is better than yours is. My God is better than my God is more jealous than yours is. I mean, for crying out loud, how can any thinking person believe all this gobbledygook? They're still trying to figure out who really killed Kennedy. They're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on, how that TWA jet blew up out there. They went through all those millions of dollars, and they pieced the thing together, and they gave us 8,000 press conferences, and they lied through their teeth, and nobody still knows what the hell really happened. But 2,000 years ago, this happened and that happened. Mike, go out and see the world. Get a life, okay? Just like those kids, the Backstreet Boys. That, to me, was one of the greatest breaths of fresh air when Kevin and AJ were in here the other day, even with his bad microphone. And I began to realize that all that crap in that those liner notes in there, these guys, one of them is from West Palm, one is from Orlando, Nick Carter's from Tampa, and two of them are from Kentucky, including Kevin, who was standing right here, from Kentucky. Talk about Neanderthal. Okay, so needless to say, their upbringing was real, ultra-religious, born-again, Bible-thumping, and yet you heard what they were talking about. They love Toronto. They love Amsterdam. They're in a red light district. There was a trip. They're all over the world, and they're amazed at how in Europe they have great sex education. People have much more progressive attitudes. They're not uptight. They're not living in this puritanical mindset. They don't give a crap about religion. They may go to church once in a while to make it look good. And like in Amsterdam, there's the old church, the oldest church in town. And what surrounds the old church is the red light district. And nobody gives it a second thought. Nobody cares. Nobody's having a nervous breakdown. They're sitting in the cafes there. You can smell the aroma in the streets as you're walking by. They're smoking a little weed, a little hash, a little lumber here, whatever they're doing. And nobody gives a crap. And in this country, and there he is again. Here we go again on CNN. There's the Pope with his cane and the schmatas, and there's Fidel. Boy, what a marriage made in heaven that is. Two bullcrap artists. Which one's got the Tony? I mean, there is a perfect match. I think they ought to get, wouldn't it be something if they got married? I think that would be beautiful.
Pope can't get married.
That's what, yeah, neither can Fidel. He's too busy screwing around on the side. The Pope can't get married, my ass. If the Pope says he can get married, yeah, look at that. He's got
They used to. It was one of the popes decided.
Well, they changed their mind, just like Galileo, okay? First they said that he was a sinner and he was going to burn in hell and they should give him 8,000 lashes. And then they said, hundreds of years after he died, they said, oh, by the way, guess what? You were right. The sun doesn't revolve around the earth. Oh, what a concept. As in, oh, right. All this archaic gobbledygook. Mike, I'm ashamed that you wasted a piece of paper. How many trees had to die? How many poor little trees had to die so that you could write me this piece of sputum on a piece of paper there? Please don't knock the Catholic religion. And why do you think we got all these young Julios who love this show? Not just because we're talking about things of a sexual nature on this program, which gets them highly emotional because they've been so repressed, but also because when they hear about what a bunch of bullcrap this is, they're saying, yes, that's what they're saying. Yeah! They know it. They know it's all a bunch of horse dropping, but poor Mike out there, this guy only wishes, he only prays in one little part of his mind. He only prays that he could emancipate his brain and think for himself about what a bunch of garbage this all is. But hey, you're not supposed to say that because it's a happening, man. The Pope is there in Cuba and Fidel. How come all of a sudden Fidel's such a good guy now? Oh yeah, and he's having second thoughts and he's becoming a spiritual man. Right, he's becoming very spiritual. Make no mistake about it. Am I getting wound up here about what? What am I getting all worked up about? Because Mike sent me a stupid goddamn fax, and because this race car driver's a fag, and that other guy says something about Schwanzes and Tommy Wands. Something like that. Here's Miami. Hello?
Hi, Neil.
Yes.
I'm just gonna call you to tell you about the my brother died of AIDS in 1994, and he was gay, and when he was one of the best people you could ever imagine. He'd give you anything from his wallet. He would leave himself with nothing. He was a very good person, and I miss him dearly. And at his mass, we're Catholic. Well, I was a Catholic.
Yeah.
We're a Julio family.
Right.
And I was brainwashed since very young. I asked the priest at his burial at the cemetery, what's going to happen to my brother? Because we were always brainwashed that gay people go to hell and stuff. And he says, well, God will forgive him. And then I thought to myself, and I said, why should God forgive him? What did he ever do bad?
Yeah.
He was such a good person.
What did he ever do that your priest didn't do?
But seriously, I'm talking seriously. What did he
So am I.
Well, okay. What did he ever do that was so bad? He was a better person than a lot of straight people that I know.
Right.
And another thing, I'm straight. I got married at 17. But
wow.
people, yeah. Well, I'll talk about a Catholic family.
But you must not be circumcised.
I am.
You are circumcised?
Yes.
Wow. Boy, something, I got to give a sitting ovation here for this audience today. We got a lot of clean people today. Thank God for this.
And people are homophobic because they themselves are insecure of their own sexuality.
That's right. You got it.
They don't. I mean, I am open-minded. I'm a university student, and it doesn't bother me the least bit to see people that are gay hugging each other because I'm secure of my own sexuality. I don't care. you know, and I accepted my brother, and I didn't care, and I loved him, and I still love him to this day. And I got so pissed off when that priest told me, oh, God will forgive him. Forgive him for what? What did he do wrong? Having his own sexual preference? He was a good individual.
Ask the priest if God is going to forgive him for being a liar and a hypocrite.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. I no longer believe in that phony baloney mumbo-jumbo stuff.
Thank the Lord. But we get the jackpot. Here's a young guy who's circumcised and has seen the light.
Well, I'm very open-minded. I'm 21 years old, and I'm open-minded. I have quite a few friends that are gay, you know, because my wife gets along with them very well. And we are very open-minded people. And another thing that I was going to tell you is that caller that called about how Hispanics are taking over, he sounds a little xenophobic to me.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, Neil.
Have a great day,
Have a good weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
There's probably the call of the year right there. There's like a real living and breathing there. And you want to know why? Because he's circumcised. Because his brain is free to think. His brain can breathe. Just like your lungs need to breathe, your brain needs to breathe. And when it's all locked up in that tight, in that really, and then of course when you got that real, like a lot of pellejo in there, and like that long elephant snout foreskin, then, my God, the brain, there's like no hope at the end of the tunnel. You can't even see the light.
I can't imagine the guys you go out with.
Meaning what? What does that mean?
That they're not clean. Well, of course,
I don't
in Europe,
touch anyone who isn't clean. And there is no one in Europe I have ever encountered who is not clean.
They don't bathe
I can
there.
sniff it. I can smell from a million miles away. That's why we have double glass between these studios. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm the president of Catholic United for Life, and I don't know whether you have a big deal over the Pope. He does many great things, and...
You're the president of what?
I'm the president of Catholic United for Life.
What is that?
We're a pro-life organization.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know why you're making a big deal over the Pope.
Because that's my opinion. What do you mean? I'm making a big deal? It seems to me the media's making a big deal. Everywhere you look, we see the Pope.
But he's doing great things.
Like what?
He went to his own country, and he went to his own country, and
His own country is Cuba?
No, he didn't went to Cuba, but he went to his own country in Poland first, and he crushed communism over there.
He crushed it with his fist.
No,
Yes.
with the word of God.
Yeah.
Okay, and if just because you have a problem of priests and the Pope, and you criticize them, you know, if you think you could do better, you know, then do it.
Then do what?
Huh? If you think you could do better
Well,
than the Pope,
then elect me Pope, and I'll guarantee I'll do a lot better.
oh yeah. You have to be, you have to
You have to be what? You have to be a senile old
you qualify.
Yeah, that's right. I qualify. I'm a fag. That gives me a leg up, so to speak.
No, you can't. There's no fact in the church.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. I want you to get. Do we have a bullet? I wish we had a bulletin sounder. There's no fags in the Catholic Church.
No.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm
Bye-bye.
so relieved. I feel so much better now. Oh, there he went. There's no fags in the. I thought he was going to have a stroke. I thought he was going to start stroking, and he was so excited. There's no fags in the church. That was it. He couldn't handle that. He ran. I bet you he's rubbing his rosary beads and whatever else he can get his hands on right now. That was beautiful. He's the head of what? Woo! There's no fags in the church. How's Monsignor Brian Walsh doing, by the way? How's he doing?
Well, they don't call them that in the Catholic Church.
What do they call them?
Alternative
Fairies?
lifestylers.
Yeah, alternative lifestylers, my ass. Well, not my ass. Maybe your ass. Yeah, not mine. Oh, what a thought. Those gnarled up old priests. Like I said, that movie Mass Appeal with Jack Lemmon is one you... In fact, you should have gotten a copy for this guy, okay? With Charles Durning and Jack Lemmon, you should have gone out and got 85 copies and sent it to this guy and his flock. Yeah, he's doing great work over there. He's giving lectures to people who need food, and he's telling them, hey, keep making more babies, no birth control, no more abortion, more and more and more babies and more starvation, and good luck to you, and go out and plant some seeds in the backyard. I want to go plant some seeds where they'll grow. That's what he wants you to do. Go plant some seeds.
Squirt, squirt, squirt.
And by the way, can he watch?